Majestic. Don't talk to yourself in my Twitch chat though. Hello yourself. If you get what I'm saying. Hey, Slugger. Get a good meme for today. Not even really a meme, but it's something.
I'm just gonna be honest with you guys.
So many like little announcement things like YouTube, Twitter, Discord, stream title. Hey Ganks. Am I doing the dev vlog? I'm looking at it in a little bit, but I have to do a coaching session first. Hello Varashi. I should be painting my brother's new bedroom. Nodlin. Hello Nodlin. I'm doing well. Yeah, this hair is it's something. EU famous, thanks for the sub, mate. Hope you're doing well. Hello Cager. Spilo where? What? Okay. Okay, let's take a look at this VOD review really quick here. We have a replay review. And then we're going to be taking a look at the director's letter, and then we're going to be doing an OWL analysis from the final match from this past weekend, which was supposed to be quite the banger. Dante, please make up your mind whether or not you want to feed or carry. I'm doing pretty good. I'm tired today. I'm normally pretty high energy, but recently I've been this past week been really tired. Not nearly as energetic. It's been tough. I don't normally have bad days. It's not really a bad day. It's just like, nah, I don't quite feel myself. Last few days have kind of felt like that. Okay, let's take a look at this VOD review here. The rank is Masters, so let's get the rank situated here. Oh, I need to check. Okay, I need to fix the chat a little bit. Remind me later before we start the OWL analysis. I'm gonna have to fix the chat. 8 to 9 hours of sleep. Okay, what do you hope to get out of the session? I hope to be a smarter player. I started playing Overwatch mid to 2021. That's my first FPS game. We're gonna be looking at support. This is Death Star, and this is going to be BAP, more BAP, more BAP, more BAP, more BAP, BAP, and a little bit of on at the end. Okay, so we'll focus on the BAP here. Goals: reach Grandmaster, long-term reach top 500. What do you feel is holding you back from improving? Inconsistent in playing Overwatch and maybe playing too passive. Okay, we'll take a look at the playing passive part. For your goals of reaching Grandmaster, I don't know what your playing time is right now, but you're definitely going to want to be getting in at least 2 hours of ranked play every day. If you're not able to do that, maybe Grandmaster isn't for you. I have known of people who have reached Grandmaster with less time, but it requires a lot of focus and a lot of energy when you are playing. I think your mileage may vary, is basically the TLDR, but you really want to be making sure that you're applying yourself as much as you possibly can. When you are in game, as much focus, as much emphasis on whatever you're practicing for that game. What you are practicing, well, that's what we're going to be finding out. Obviously, if you have any questions, Death Star, just shoot me a message over Discord, or you can do it over Twitch as well. It's up to you. You know, I'm playing 2 weeks. Yeah. yeah. Okay. Alrighty. Let's take a look here. Baptiste, Masters, you say maybe playing a little too passive. We'll find out. Now, Baptiste and Double Sniper is really good, but also really hard. Because you need to be putting out pressure with your gun whenever you can, but when you put pressure out with your gun, is really limited. So it's about finding those windows of times to shoot, whether that's when your Ramatra is pushing, whatever you know that you could peek them without peeking their Widowmaker specifically. So it's all about finding those windows of opportunity, finding those times to actually get pressure. Because if you don't, and you only heal bot, you never peek Widow, then their support's going to outvalue you. One shot's getting nerfed. Oh boy, no spoilers. I have not read the thing yet. So their Widow's dead. Aggro. Aggro, 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 aggro. I want pressure. I want damage pressure. I want you taking the high ground. So like this is like one of the scenarios where like, okay, you can look at this and be like, oh, I thought that my Mercy was going to heal my Hanzo. But if you think about it, how impactful is your healing and damage pressure on your Matcha right now? How important is it versus how important is it for you to take this high ground here? Actually make sure that your Hanzo gets pocket and or that you help him shoot the Hanzo and the enemy Baptiste at the same time. It's really, really important that you're able to quickly pivot to decide who needs the impact, who needs your support the most. Everyone says, Baptiste, heal your tank, heal your tank, heal your tank. But that is just such bull. Like, your job is to... One of the reasons why Baptiste is played in brawl compositions is not because he can just, oh, heal tank, heal tank. It's because he's actually very, very good at healing off-angle DPS. In fact, we saw this past weekend where teams that were playing Moira struggled in the brawl when they were running it with a poke DPS. Like, I was not a fan of Shock running the Moira with the Hanzo, because when the Hanzo takes an off-angle, pushes aggressively, case in point, the Moira can't heal him. So this is like one of those situations, hey, what's up? You need to make sure that you're prioritizing the people that need the help. Don't just heal tank, right? I think everybody knows that, but about whether you're doing it or not, that's the difference between about whether you needed to blow shift here or not. And I think that's pretty important, because I don't think dueling that Hanzo is a bad thing. I think it's probably pretty reasonable. You might need to lamp that, yeah. But your actual offensive pressure and your ability to control space there when it mattered was really not good. Okay, Widow is back. Let's shorten up the sight line. Good damage. Probably didn't need your shift there. This is when a situation where you need your shift for sure. You notice that it took us like all of 2 seconds to find a better use for shift. We're trying to weave, which is good. Obviously, that's very important. But this is what I'm talking about right here. Like right now, is there... here's the problem, okay? Again, your Mercy's kind of doing a little bit of trolling here. Watch this happening in action. Watch this happening in action. We're tunneled on our tank, okay? We end up having to give up the high ground because we misuse our shift. We've then dropped and are focused on the tank trade. During this, though, our impact is basically 0. Because of our positioning, we lose track of what's happening above us, which, you know, spoilers, is a really important Sojourn angle. So our Sojourn basically AFKs for a long time. Watch it. You respond, oh crap, Sojourn needs help. So then you go to pocket Sojourn. But in reality, the Sojourn should have been able to keep the position and should never have needed urgent pocket. And then at the same time... Like I was saying, for the 63 months. Holy crap.
Peasants below 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 peasants below.
Don't quit your day job. At the same time, your Ramatra goes to take space, but you're not in a position to pocket him. You see, you prioritize your tank when he doesn't need help. So then you forfeit the ability to control your DPS. So then you go, oh crap, I gotta help my DPS. But at the same time, your tank goes aggressively. This is what happens. So it's like, have you guys ever seen... All right. This is what's happening with the Baptiste play right now.
Now, and
they got to wrap the chocolates, right? You make a bad decision, you don't prioritize. All jokes aside, like you prioritize the wrong things. You don't do the process right, and then you create a losing battle for yourself where you're fighting uphill because you never actually prioritize the right things. It's too over. It's too late at that point. So it's like now it's like your tank's dead. Your Sojourn lost the angle and your tank's dead. So the important thing is to make sure that you're prioritizing the most impactful things. Let your Sojourn keep the angle so that she puts more pressure on the enemy tank, and then that allows you to be able to actually pocket your tank when he actually pushes, because you're not going back to help your Sojourn who's already helped. Now, I will say your Mercy's a brain-dead idiot. Your Mercy's done a horrible job of pocketing the right people, but you're making the exact same mistakes that she's making. And now your Ramadra's like, all right, well, this sucks. I'm going to go take them. Probably didn't need shift there. It's not the worst thing in the world. Let's use the window here. Let's use the window here. Let's pop the window here. Mercy, can we get a nano? Can we get a, oh no, let's get a nano here. Let's get a nano here rolling here. Okay, thank you. Good. Good. I mean, again, you peek the widow, but you know it's like an educated gamble. Everything that you're going to be doing as support is an educated gamble. Now, don't. Thank you. I was going to say, don't just focus on the tank duel here, right? Check your periphery. Check what's going on the right. That was the skill that we need to practice. It's not just, oh, focus more DPS, you know? It's like you're not paying attention to what's going on around you, so then by the time it's time to help, it's too late. This was much better, and it's not an accident that this feels a lot better. It felt like you were actually paying attention to what was going on. Can we get a nano going? Can we get a nano going? Anna, can we get a nano going? Let's get a nano going here. Let's get a nano going. Nano, let's get a nano going. I'm ready for a nano. About ready for a nano. About time for a nano. I think it's time for a nano. Let's go nano. Are you guys ready for a nano? I think about a nano. I think this is about a nano time here. I think about ready for a nano. Anytime for a nano. Can we get a nano going? Get ready for a nano. Time to prep for a nano. Play's about to start. Here we go. Nano. About time to charge. Okay, let's go. Help your Sigma, please. Good. Don't just heal your tank. Don't just heal your tank. I heard my Hanzo on the flank. Let's go. Good offensive pressure. I wouldn't say that you're too passive. Maybe you're too passive at poor times, but like for the most part, you're looking for good opportunities. So you might need to lamp that. You might need to lamp that. Oh yeah, that girl. A little bit of the weave here. You know what I'm saying? It's just you just turn your brain off and you weave. You know. It's like knit work, you know, just sewing. Call it the weave more ways than one. Okay, let's keep going. Easy peasy. The only problem with the weave, and this kind of goes into the thing that we're talking about where you tunnel a little bit, is a weave is almost like hypnotic, where you do a weave. Oh yes. Oh, damage heal. Damage heal. Damage heal. Damage heal. Like you start tunneling, your brain goes off, right? So you stop paying attention. So like the weave is like that shift is just, I'm gonna call the cops on you if I see that shift again. As important as the weave is, don't let it lose priority. Like this is like a good little case in point here right now, where you're on the weave, you're on the weave, you're on the weave, you're on the weave. But your Hanzo takes damage, you're slow to react, and then you end up using a shift for it. It's like your brain turns off for just a second. So try to like, you get in the weave, but kind of like you're on red alert to like immediately pivot and to do something else. Let's get a window here. Let's get a window. Use that window. Maybe get a window going. Here we go. Get a window going. Use that window. I think maybe get a window going. Maybe we can get a window. Use that window. Maybe get a window about started here. Here comes a window. I think about a window time. Window's gonna be popping a window. I think it's time for a good window. Let's get ready for a window. I think a BAP window's in order here. Ah, you're trolling now. Shoot that Hanzo. Shoot that Hanzo. Shoot him in the face. Good. Probably needed to lamp that, but honestly, I think I don't even know if you realized that they had Bastion, but regardless. Okay. Hanzo. Might need to lamp that, honestly. Or maybe lamp yourself! Jump up and over, jump up and over, jump up and over. Yep, nicely done. Nicely done. So I want to take a look at your shifts a little bit, because here's the thing. I understand that's a spam cooldown, and you're thinking, I don't really need to use my shift in case I get dope, because there's nothing that's going to dive me. And a lot of the positions I'm going to be playing, if I get shot, I'm probably dead. The shift isn't going to change the fact. But that's clearly not 100% the case, because we've seen several times where you've been able to push, or would have been able to push a little bit more aggressively and or do the job a little bit better if you'd had your shift. So I want to, as cop out as it is, let's take a careful look at your shifts. The other thing faster with the window pull it, and a little bit more awareness on not just the weaving tank droid. Yeah, pretty much anima. I don't even want to talk about it, bro. They got their window. You see, but they're not on. See, this is the thing to me, okay? This is the thing to me. What's the problem with our positioning, ladies and gents? What's the problem with our positioning? I'm not saying our positioning is necessarily trash, but what's the potential problem with our positioning here? Sigma, right? Here's my thing. When our Sigma pushes here, this is like when we talked about, like, I don't want you just AFK standing here where I feel like you're just gonna get your head blown off. Sayonara. You know, but like when your Sigma pushes here and creates pressure and space on their DPS, I want you to deepen your angle so that you don't have to just shoot the Sigma. Like, this is the problem with our positioning right now. When your tank creates space and pressure on the enemy team, don't put yourself in a position where all you can shoot is old man kneecaps. So I don't want you AFKing here. Like, you might get your head blown off. But you can push when their fragile backline is under pressure. You see it? So it's not just about playing aggressively. It's about when you play aggressively. And notice that I'm not even telling you to push into the Sigma. I'm telling you to swing into the Sigma. Think about it. All right? Like, even now. Please get help. Please get help. Oh, and by the way, notice that our Sojourn is 1 and has remained 1. Where is our Sojourn? Why are my buttons not working? Yeah, I'm just saying. Please get help for your shift usage. Call somebody. Call somebody. I know a guy that knows a guy. Like imagine shifting here and then actually being able to DPS on that Hanzo. Because that's the that's what shift does, okay? Shift is not just about the burst heal. Shift is reducing the healing responsibilities so that you can go Soldier 76 afterward. Right? Bang, shift, shoot. Not shift and then, or no, I have to heal. No, damage. Don't be a beta, right? But you have to be a beta because you know, you don't have your shift. Okay, and by the way, can we just talk about beta and alpha for a second? Ladies and gentlemen, it's a joke. It's a joke. I unironically had a YouTube comment freaking on me using the beta joke. Oh, you're one of those beta alpha guys. Well, it's actually been scientifically proven, and you know, I don't really know. Shut up! It's a joke. Everybody know, like, come on. What I get for reading YouTube comments. Somebody, apparently it hit too close to home to somebody. That's all I'm going to say. But seriously, like, good shift, by the way. I think reasonable shift. Like that, like, you know, critical. Window. Let's get a window going here. Get a window. I think a window. I'm really fast. Ah! Yeah, that was pretty good. I think a little too close, but it's all right. I know why you put it close. By the way, notice that when your Sigma is pushing off of the window there, that you're not worried about getting your Zenyatta, the Zenyatta blasting you. So there you go. Like, ironically, the most beta thing you could do is complain about me using the word beta in a joking format. I mean, you got Nano Sigma. Okay. Spilo Pilt, yeah. But it still matters, the BAP shift usage. It still matters. It's still a very important cooldown. In fact, it's even more important than it was back in the day because the burst heal, like, actually... Oh my gosh, Okay, he's kind of an idiot. You might have the worst mercy of all time. I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm not being hyperbolic. It's unfortunate. The shift usage was fine. I understand trying to greet your lamp there. You're going into ultimate there. Now, this is where you have to be careful. Okay, so. No, not hyperbolic. Death Star, okay? Facetious would also serve? Yes, it would. What's the mistake right here, chat? I don't want to just touch on something and then just touch on it and leave it alone. I want to really, you know, punch it in the face a few times, really hit at it, you know? What's the problem here? What's the problem? You're jumping. Hanzo is a nice sightline on you. Yes. But do you remember when we talked about when we wanted you to actually like take an angle and deepen your sightline? When? Do you remember? Right. So you can see the problem here, don't you? You should be considering timing with your peaks just as much as if you were playing Tracer and going for the backline. Because I'm not gonna lie, if I'm playing Sigma here, watch this. I will bet my left butt cheek that when this Sigma pushes in a second, he's gonna be shooting Hanzo and Bastion. You ready for this? Yeah, see? He forced the Hanzo out, right? But I'm wondering if you were even peeking off of that, or if you were hiding. Oh, you were peeking. Wait. But do you see how, like, you need that Sigma to create that pressure so that then you can peek? You know? That's the thing. That's the thing. That's the thing. Because, like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you don't peek a Hanzo. I mean, you got to be really careful when you peek a Hanzo. But you need... Oh, okay. A little bit of... I mean, you shouldn't have had to have used your shift there, but obviously reasonable. Well, it's been good. Ah! That was terrifying. That was honestly... That was actually, like... That was a little bit bothersome. So, I want you to work at that. I want you to work at that, and I want you to work at your shift usage. And then not as much focus on the DPS. See, like, again, right now, like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? You have to be so careful right here. You're peeking a Hanzo, you're peeking a Zen, you're peeking an Ana, and your freaking Zarya's not doing jack all. So guess what? There's our shift. And what did we get out of it? Nothing. I know you're worried about OT push, but you don't. You're okay. We needed our shift. We don't have our shift. The Bastion's on the flank. GG's. Okay, let's keep going. Do you have any questions, Death Star? Yeah, the Bastion ult was good. When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. When you wish upon a star, your dreams come true. Get some weaves in there. Good little weavers. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that flick is too unnecessary, especially if you're just flicking on a DPS. I'm going to call the cops on you with these shifts, I swear. I might just do it. Hey, guy! Woo. Like, no. You weren't even shot. Get help. You have a burst heal, bro. It's 100 damage, or 100 healing. You might need to lamp that, might need to lamp that, Yes, good. Like, I don't even understand why you press the button. Hey, poke. There's no difference who you are when you wish upon Probably necessary. I mean, I get it. There wasn't really even any opportunity to do any offensive pressure because you guys were on the back foot. So far, you need to lamp this. Oh, that's fine. I honestly don't even know. Hey, Boom. I don't know why I didn't get a notification. Thanks for the sub. Yeah, Shift is probably the most wasted cooldown in Overwatch. That one was okay. But, like, it's very, very important to not waste it. Very important. Did your operating system just take a chill pill? Or, like, what's the deal? I got the blue spinning wheel of death. Oh, you know what was tilting, mates? You guys ever had a Mac? You had that rainbow spinning wheel of death? Nom dat cabbage. Thank you for the sub. That one was the worst. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, why are we shooting a Hanzo? Does anyone want to take a guess? Anyone want to take a guess? Why are we shooting Hanzo? I'm gonna keep hammering at this. Because he's right, he's under pressure. Look at the Sigma, look at the soldier. You're okay. Kill this guy. Or the Hana, or the Hana, I say. Yeah, go ahead. DPS. That shift won't reach him, by the way. Like, yeah, your Sigma was kind of low-ish, but it's fine. No, you're getting a lot of offensive pressure out. We're tight with that. The only good Hanzo is a dead Hanzo. That is true. Be careful. Because there isn't any significant pressure on their snipers now. Ash! Probably could have greeted to shift there. You need to kind of get your ducks in a row if you're going to use shift or lamp. Because then obviously you would want to lamp and then maybe shift or not even use your shift. Because it's kind of sucky that the ways that you had to use both. Holy mackerel. Your Sigma's dead. Yeah. So a bit of a misuse of cooldowns there. And I also think that, like, in terms of ye old positioning here. Nah, I think it's okay. I think that they just used a lot there. Okay. How's tricks there, bud? Yeah, you got isolated. Okay, let's keep watching. Okay, you go on. So, Baptiste, what are you guys seeing so far? What are you guys seeing so far? There's a couple of things that we've talked about. I want to look at a little bit of our Ana play as well. But what are you guys seeing so far with the Baptiste? There's a couple of things that we've seen. I think ability usage. Yeah, I think... What about the ability usage, though? We gotta be peaking timing, yeah. I think a little bit more periphery awareness as well. Like, not just picking Baptiste and therefore I focus on tank trade as well. Like, finding where my attention's gonna be most impactful. What do you think, Death Star? Can you explain what peak timing is? Yes. So it's exactly what we were talking about here, where remember on the attack where your Sigma pushes, so that's an opportunity for you to not only peak, but for you to take a more aggressive angle and to a more aggressive sight line, really, and to just shoot off of that. But if, for example, you were to peak this isolated with your Sigma disengaged out, or your Winston, or your Reinhardt, or your Zarya, or your Roadhog, or your Junker Queen, or your Wrecking Ball, or your Diva, or you know, your Balloon, okay, anything, then you are at risk, essentially. So you want to apply offensive pressure, almost like a DPS, to match your tank's aggression. Peeking while peeking, right? Tank doing something, I do something. You risk your life more when you're peeking solo. That's something that you need to work at. So let's write that one down. Timing, offensive pressure, more around tank pressure. Deepening sight lines, targeting squishies, etc. Leave was good. Tank trade with heals, damage. Just don't get too hypnotized and forget what's going on around you. Damage and heal opportunities. Work at shift usage even in non-dive comps. Work at using it when you need it, or playing more aggro so that you need it. In other words, if you're smart with your shift usage, you'll be able to take more aggressive positions that you get your shift forced, but you're like, I don't care. I got more aggro out of it, right? It's like taking an angle with Kiriko so that you get your TP forced. I'd rather that than sitting in your backline doing absolutely nothing and just shifting air, right? Piranhas, thank you for the sub, mate. Lamp usage was okay. I mean, I think maybe a little bit more playing around, like tracking their ults. Maybe Lamp. Maybe start a wee bit of ult tracking, and we're giving you a lot to work at here. So just pick one of these at a time. Let's look at a teeny bit of Ana. There's not really a whole lot to learn from the Ana, given the amount of time that we have here, and the fact that this fight is already lost. So, but maybe there's something that we can pick up. Yeah, no worries, mate. It's gonna be the same with Ana. Like, you look at this composition, you're like, this guy can kill me, this guy can kill me, this guy can kill me, this guy can kill me. So you better play around your Sigma's peak, and then use your Sigma peak timing as like damage, sleep, nade opportunities. Okay, go. You need to peek. 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 Too late now. You're also not really in a good position to make a play, which, to be fair, there aren't a lot of positions here. But like right now, your Sigma's peeking. You need to be peeking. Thank you. But I would even consider trying to rotate up with your Sigma, because remember, if you're just going to be damaging and healing, why are you playing Ana? Right? There are other heroes that do this better. Zenyatta does it significantly better. Baptiste does it significantly better. Zenyatta doesn't have the same amount of healing, but the damage that he puts out compensates for it, right? So if you're not like setting up sleep in nade angles, which, you know, there's not a lot of them here. Maybe you could roll out top here, look for a nade. Maybe you could push and rotate off of your Sigma's timing and look for something here. Maybe you could even go for like a flank and hold your sleep dart. Like, I know this is like quote unquote feeding, but like you will not win this fight doing this here. You will not. I mean, one flank dynamite forces this portal, and you still probably could have dove. Or dove, I say, died. Good news, though. Your heal stat's going to look great in Diamond. All the Diamond supports are going to be jealous. Man, how does this guy... How does he get so much healing? And you'll know the answer.
I see you.
You could even fish for a nade here, right? Look for a nade on backline. Like, once they start to walk through that choke, right? They're walking now. Fish for the nade. Fish for the nade. Or nano and then fish for the nade afterwards. I mean, you're not even... This is like a prime time, right? They're vulnerable. And nade here is like they're walking in front of your Hanzo, your Soldier, your Ana, your Sigma sightlines. This is like prime opportunity to force a trance here, right? Where are we? Hello. Oh, man. Like, there's unimpactful, and then there's whatever that we're seeing on our screen right now, which is like it's offensive to unimpactful people to call you unimpactful. We've done more in the last 2 seconds than we've done in the entire game. Yeah, so there's just not enough impact. Remember, I guess not a lot to like really pull any crazy conclusions from your Ana, but remember, your job is to put out offensive pressure. And if you're only healing, then you're not putting out offensive pressure. Remember, it's not smart to just damage. You need to be educated, especially versus a composition like this. You can't just peek nade whenever you want to, but pay attention to your Sigma, just like the Baptiste. Use your Sigma or your tank's aggression, or even your DPS's aggression as a green flag. Hey, I can go and put out pressure right now. I can go set up a play here. I'm not telling you to be DPS Ana all the time. What I am saying is that pay attention to what's going on. That's your cue to go. Damage done is healing prevented. Yes. But you need to know when to do that damage. That's the thing. When you need to risk your life. You have to take risks. You just need to know when those risks. So what I would say with Ana, the timing offensive pressure on tank pressure, that Ana, same first point from Baptiste. Copy and paste. Same thing. At least that's one little thing that we saw. I'm not going to draw any other conclusions because there wasn't enough to see. But that for sure is something that you'll benefit from. Even if it's not a mistake that you make often, it's something that's going to serve you all the way to top 500. Do you have any questions? We talked about a lot of stuff, so do you have any questions? Take your time. And then we're gonna take a look at the director's take. If you can't think of any right now and you're like, crap, I'm under pressure, don't worry, you can message me anytime. So if you can't think of any right now, but you're gonna think of some later, just message me. It's fine. You have one. Okay. Director's update is horrible. I'm bracing myself. How many times should I play a week to climb? Every day. At least for an hour and a half, if you're looking to climb. I mean, you can climb less, but, you know, here's what I would say. Here's what I'd say. If that's where you're at right now, then try to bump those numbers up. I'm not going to, don't expect yourself to be perfect, but maybe try and play 3 times a week. Or twice a week. Cross that road when you get there. What you're doing right now is not optimal, but, you know, I mean, it can do better than what you're doing right now. One step from where you're doing right now. So you're playing almost like once a week right now? Go for like 2 or 3. No, you're good, yeah, boy hunt. You're good. Go for like 2 to 3 times a week. Aim for that. That's not what I would say the average player, but you're clearly not the average player, so, you know, figure it out. Okay. Now that that's done, I have a question for you. What the frick is wrong with you? Leaking DMs. Look at this guy. You good to go today? Yeah, I need the code now. Who responds with this? I'm not going to sleep for a week. What is wrong with you? I'm like, what is that? It's like this guy, the skin eater emote. Jeez. Get help. Good gosh. Okay. Let's take a look at this director's take, guys, and then we're gonna have our Owl VOD review soon. Woo! Wait. No. Okay, I think we're good. Okay. As season 4 ends, I'd like to take a look at the game's balance. This season we saw a wide percentage balance from 1% season 34 the most balanced range. I'd like to go over to games like here's the thing with the balance right now. I think balance right now could be worse. It's not great. The biggest problem with the balance right now is that the number of heroes that aren't as designed or reworks that have not been executed as well. But it's not terrible, you know. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, I will try. It's just like the Junker thing was a little bit too much. Lifeweaver was like really bad. It's not terrible. Here's my concern with the balance more. When I made that big balance rant video, it was more about my concerns, not just about the current balance, which I think could be a lot better, but about my concerns about the balance philosophy. Because especially when we're talking about like Roadhog reworks, Somber reworks, all these new heroes, it spooks my giblets to see like the things that are communicated to us right now. Even if things aren't that good or that bad right now, I'm a little bit concerned. Okay? There were a few series for 2 per second. Means Junker Queen was given a series of buffs. She really started to dominate. Her win rate popped up by about 5%. She went from being one of the slowest picked tanks. Queen were about 2 most picked tanks for the latter half of the season. However, Masters and above, Queen is far away the most picked tank. One of the big changes that we made was to increase the healing received from her passive. We like this addition to her playstyle, but it makes Queen just 2 survival, so we'll be reducing the health she receives from getting shot for 200 or 50 to compensate. We're also increasing the cost of vote by small, since you're getting at a faster rate than mid-season. I feel like the ult cost thing isn't even that good. Like, I feel like the ult cost isn't necessarily the problem so much as the fact that maybe she gets her ult immediately after she's just used the current one, because the ult allows her to play more aggressively. Maybe that's something that I want to change, though. I'm flexible. But it's like the ult allows her to play more aggressively because the enemy team is on the back foot and she's receiving a lot of healing from the bleed damage, which then allows her to build her next ult really fast. So I'm torn. This is a fine change, I think. Yeah, okay. Lifeweaver is a really dynamic hero.
Dynamic.
Marked by usually continuous and productive activity or change relating to physical force or energy. Energetic, forceful. Do they know what that word means? continuous productive activity or change. There is not a single support besides maybe Mercy that is less dynamic than Lifeweaver. Like, objectively, he's not dynamic at all. He is the opposite. He is the antithesis of dynamic. He does one thing and then occasionally does thing two, which is where thing two is where it's fun. This is like corporate, hot words. Dynamic. No, stop. No, it's not. Stop saying this. It's not dynamic. It's not dynamic. When we can actually use his damage and be impactful, and we have something besides a 27-second cooldown that's actually impactful, then you can say he's dynamic. I mean, I'm not being dynamic isn't necessarily a must. I would not describe Zenyatta, for example, to be a very dynamic hero. I think Zenyatta has dynamics to him, but he's not that dynamic. And that's not a problem. I enjoy Zenyatta. Zenyatta's my favorite hero. But this is just corporate buzzword. Some of the plays that people have pulled off with him during Season 4 were pretty astonishing. However, he's not powerful enough to be a solid pick for most players. Previously, you stated that there was like to be a reason to pick new heroes over others in their roster. This goal for them to bring something new to the table. Okay? However, at the moment, we're still looking for the best way to bring Lifeweaver to a baseline. Once people are playing him more, we will get a cleaner read on the character. Players will either start utilizing the very parts of the kit, or we can look at adding some new into it. In Season 5, there will be quite a few changes, mostly buffs coming to Lifeweaver. We have a series of healing and damage output, a heal on life grip, okay? I think this is good. I like this. A slightly reduced hitbox and some quality of life changes to the pedal platform. So here's my concern. This has to be significant, I feel like. Not because... Let me put it this way. The biggest problem with Lifeweaver is not healing output or necessarily damage output, I would definitely argue. Bear with me. It's not the life grip or heal. It's not the hitbox. It's not pedal platform. The biggest problem with Lifeweaver is the fact that the hero is boring. He doesn't do anything between grips and pedals. The problem is that it's not like, oh, a hitbox is the major problem. Hitbox is why he's weak. Heal output is why he's weak. But that's not, it's more concerning about that. There's nothing to do with the hero. There's downtime. The downtime is what makes the hero dull, where you do nothing but spam heals all the time. So this is why this right here is so important, because this is what will actually make this a truth, where there is something to do besides healing when you have your grip or your pedal on cooldown. You heal bot and then occasionally have an impactful life grip or pedal. And that's the problem. So that is the number one problem. I understand the worries about his hitbox. I understand the worries about his survivability. I understand the concerns about his ultimate. But all of those are secondary to dynamic, enjoyable, engaging gameplay. He's literally as bad, sometimes even worse than Mercy in terms of dynamics, because Mercy at least has her movement. He has nothing. And that's what concerns me. So I hope this damage output is actually significant, so that there's actually stuff to do in engaging, because otherwise he's still going to be bad. Or he's going to be wildly OP during bursts of value and then totally worthless during others, and that feels awful. When your hero does nothing when he's alive, the survivability isn't the main issue. I agree. Well, Kingdom Monitors are going to make changes. Okay. A voice concern the number of one-shots from Widowmaker and Hanzo. Oh boy. They like to reduce the frequency of this in-game, so short things streaming sometimes. Widow's damage fall will change from 70 meters to 40 60 meters. I'm going to pull up Overwatch. Give me a second. The damage fall-off scaler will also increase from 30 to 50%, so the fall-off is a lot harsher. So she will be unable to one-shot squishies at full charge. fall off is less harsh? Wait, am I misreading this? What am I not hearing? The damage scale will increase from 30 to 50%. Maybe I'm missing something here. As in it can only go to 50% fall off? Tops?
I aim to devastate.
Got it. 0, 10, 20, 30, 40. So we're talking Widowmaker fall off starts here. Whoa. She will have the ability to one-shot 200 heroes at 50 meters or less, but further than that, it will no longer be a killing blow. So let's do it. It's right here.
A perfect 10.
Or no, here. This is your one-shot range. Interesting. I don't have an opinion. Hans will receive a slight nerf to his damage so he's no longer going to one-shot 250 health heroes. So Sonic will also be more recognizable by the enemy team. That's good. I mean, okay. I don't know, guys. I'm not sure how this is going to be about. We just need to see how it's done in execution. I don't think that this is an objectively bad change, though. I mean, I'm not sure. The Hanzo changes look pretty reasonable. The Widow change, they might need to increase her HP if they force her back to 200 if they force her to play in shorter sightlines. But yeah, I mean, the entire blog just reads like a list of reasons to have an experimental playlist. Yeah, you're not wrong. Just preach to the choir. Last, I'd like to talk about crowd control abilities in the game. When we launched Overwatch 2, we made some significant changes to our combat model. The biggest was the shift from 66 to 5v5. Part of that change is to remove most of the crowd control. I think this was a positive change of the game. At times, the game is a pinball machine, but we have a lot of abilities. But we can't always rely on the tank to take on them. Can't always rely on their tank to take of them. What? And a team can't always rely on their tank to take of them. Maybe a typo. So we're softening our approach here. Uh-oh. That's a little bit concerning. I feel like Overwatch CC is in a pretty good place right now. I think Widow's one of the highest skill hit scan heroes in the game. Like, her mechanical ceiling is really, really high, and her positioning is pretty decently hard. I wouldn't say she's the hardest. I think like something like a Tracer is probably harder. But I don't know. Like, it's hard to say. But the problem though is it's not like the net level of skill required. It's just the fact that there's like a lot of times with the map design right now is like the level of counterplay is like really, really low. That's the problem. We don't really return to the state of the game was in previous, but we feel like there's room for more CC, especially soft CC in our lineup. We'll be making changes to both Mei and Cassie. I wish they wouldn't change Mei, guys. I play a lot of Mei recently, and I don't think Mei's the primary is still slow targets, but will also build to effect that will apply a much larger slow for 1.5 seconds. I just don't feel this is necessary. I just don't feel this is necessary. I think giving it to DPS, yeah, agreed, is fine. I just don't feel this is necessary, to be honest with you. I will reserve judgment till I see how it's played out, but I don't feel like it's necessary. Mei isn't particularly strong, but I think she's like a pretty good hero when played well. I think she's actually got she's just not very popular, but she is really fun. I don't know. Cassie's Magna Grey walls get to deal less damage as well as applying effect that slows and blocks movement abilities. Again, reserving judgment here. I'm a little spooked here. I'm not going to be the typical content creator and freak out here. I always like to reserve judgment until I see it in execution, almost without exception. Some exceptions, including Ramatra's Ultimate and Lifeweaver, but patch notes here, we're okay. But the Lifeweaver thing is honestly the most concerning thing. It shows like a complete lack of understanding But honestly, that's kind of been the case since the design from the get-go. The other stuff is I'll reserve judgment. I'm a little bit more skeptical of the CC thing than I am for the one-shot thing. Yeah. May might get a damage nerf on left click. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But like, but be honest with me. Like, what are you going to use your slow on? It's gonna be tank. You're not gonna sit there and if the May mouse 1 does less damage, you're never gonna use on anything but a tank. The change to cast is a direct counter to Sombra. It's really good. Well, that's the thing is like Sombra doesn't need counters. Sombra needs a better design, right? I don't know. Anyway, I understand what you're saying, but like, what are we gonna do? Like, can you okay, let me be honest with you. If you hit a grenade on Tracer, she's dead, right? Isn't that kind of like the takeaway here? Right? I mean, unless it doesn't... Maybe it doesn't block recall because it's not technically a movement ability. I don't know. I will reserve judgment. I don't like freaking out over stuff like this until we see it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, let's get set up for... Okay, chat, I'm gonna get this situated here. Oh, I see, I don't need to do the chat change yet, Anima, because the thing's not gonna do that. Although I need to stop this. How do I fix this? I think fewer lines of chat, right? Fewer lines of chat. How do I do that in Streamlabs? Wait, how do I do this? See how squashed everybody is? I can't be bothered. I gotta do it later. It's not gonna even matter because we're not gonna be on that window anyway. So scene anyway. Gonna forget me again. All right, Slugger. I'll do you right now. Before we start, this guy catches in a roast my highlight, and then I guarantee you it's gonna be me feeding. I already see my face. Here we go. Here's Slugger dominating me. What do you want me to say? Congrats, you got a kill with the most busted hero in this mode. Garbage, hate this. Calling you friendless would be an insult to the friendless. You don't even deserve to be associated with them. Shame on you. Look at this guy, look at this guy. Look at this, just sits here. Look at this guy, look at this guy. You think you're so funny. You think you're so funny, but just garbage. I'm not roasting you. You're not worth the roast. There's nothing to say. I'm starving, guys. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a VOD review, an Overwatch League VOD review on an empty stomach because I love you guys. You're going to watch me waste away on stream for you guys. I'm willing to make these sacrifices. Some of you guys don't know what it's like to have to make these sacrifices for the grind set. And that this is something that I'm very familiar with. I've been doing it for years. Yeah, so, you know, it is what it is. It's not a big deal. I do it all the time. I'll do it. Okay, let's get our rank situated here. Bronze, bronze, bronze. Okay. Let's do this. I am a good father, yes. I do.
Nick,
so, I did not watch this match. I was busy at the time. I caught about half the matches this past weekend, maybe a little bit more. I heard it was a good one. Spoilers. I'm about to spoil this match. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm going to spoil it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, Mayhem won. They're going to Korea. You don't know that you're living under a rock. Gladiators lose. Gladiators have looked like yay over the course of this season, and that continued here. They looked terrible last week, and they looked also amazing last week, and that continued. I think this match being one of their better matches. Dante had issues from what I know. Florida Mayhem had issues from what I know. Let's take a look here. Okay.
It was all about those dives and clean initiation.
Now, I'm not going to talk as in detail about the Moira stuff. I will give you a brief rundown, just like Mayhem will give you a brief rundown. Haha, get it, the comp. Basically, it's just 3, 2, 1. We run you over. We look for your Vap. We look for your Hanzo or your Mei. This composition is why we saw the Orisa earlier. I talked about that not only a little bit on stream, but also talked about that in the review I posted on YouTube yesterday. Yeah, so... Question here is this composition going to be able to close the distance quickly with this composition and either stuff them in a choke, denying them sightlines, or finding ways to get onto uno, dos, or tres? Theoretically, you could get the Ramatra as well, but the problem is that Ramatra is very hard and slow to kill, so not the greatest target here.
I mean, we've seen just how much work
So you can see them immediately going. They might even push into the choke. They do push into the choke. The wall is good, so they are going to deny the 3-2-1, run it down mid. And that's really what Gladiators want. But they did force the ice block. They did finish the kill, so yeah, there you go. This is like one of the things where, like, I don't know if the Mayhem's composition is better on this map. We haven't seen this composition in this mirror tested. Mayhem kind of came up with it, and they're the ones executing it really, really well. So I think it remains to be seen if the Gladiators comp is played better, if it functions better. You will notice that Kevster's on the Sojourn rather than the Hanzo. That's probably because of what the Mayhem are running. It's harder to lock down the Sojourn, and she still does viable tank damage. It's a great angle from the Sojourn. That's exactly what you need to do. And they're able to peel off the engage, and then we're going to call rubber band effect, right? So Mayhem goes in for the hard push. They get it denied. Dante lives healthily. Kevster takes an angle, and even though he doesn't get a kill, he forces Reaper Wraith, which means Merit's completely out of this fight, so Mayhem have to back up. And then now Gladiators are walking forward, taking space. Rubber band effect. You use all your cooldowns, you don't get value. The composition that still has cooldowns available or better poke damage then snaps back and hits you in the mouth. So that was Mayhem's opportunity. They don't get it. Merit doesn't have his Wraith, and then he's exposed and dies. Yaki does die very quickly as a result. I don't know what happens, and they get the Cole back faster. So I don't know how Yaki died there, but Glad's played that fight really well. They catch Astro. Dante gets walled off and dies as well. Kevster's freaking deadlifting on the angle. I really like Kevster's positioning here. He's doing the exact right thing. This is how you beat this composition. This is what Shock were not doing very well, consistently anyway. And ironically, what Mayhem were not doing to Shock running their variation of the same composition. Because remember, Mayhem versus Shock rolled out on this and did the equivalent of this, but except with an Orisa. And Mayhem looked totally lost. But Glads are executing this one really well. I don't know why Kevster dies. He needs to take... Wait, no, Kevster doesn't die. Who dies? Oh, Lasser just trolls. Like, Lasser just straight up trolls. I'm not going to lie. That's a complete feed. That fight was in the bag, and that's completely thrown out. That one hurts.
They weren't able to get nearly as much done as they would have liked there, and it was just the coalescence. The Florida Mayhem were able
I remember playing versus Lastro and Chicken Contendies in Goats days, and he was a holy terror in Ana Goats. When every team was running Zen Goats, they would go Ana Sombra Goats, and the guy had all the Sky Nades, and they would time an EMP nade, and we'd die every time. It was so annoying. I hated playing versus Lastro. Sojourn angle, there's an early wall. Dante's just going to block, and then he's going to change that into his ultimate. Kevster pops his ult. That's going to be a counter ult from Chorong and a beat. The beat is countered as well. The Blizzard needs to be there. The Blizzard is there. It's fat. It's exactly what they need to do. They catch the push. Pretty darn good. I'm telling you guys, the Glads are looking pretty good in playing versus this. If they're only able to clean this out, that's the problem. There's a lot of these fights, it's just like, for example, Yaki just freaking dies for no reason. Lastro feeds, freaking dies, no reason. That fight right there, I don't know who dies here. Dante? Dante does get beat. Where is Dante? Does he get frozen? I don't know why Lastro doesn't have LOS on him. I don't even know where Lastro is. Maybe it's an individual feed, but like Glads really respond to this well. Maybe the beat was too early. I think the beat might have been too early from Astro here. So there's, yeah, the beat is too early. They could agree to that one at least a few seconds longer. And then the lamp is also used at the same time. So a bit of the Sussers box from the Gladiators support line maybe there. But again, man, it just feels like Glads are just unable to close this one out. And then they bounce back with the next ultimate. And it's such a shame because I do think Kevster's played this one really, really, really well. I think you can't blame this one on Kevster whatsoever. I mean, that's a huge surprise, right? Like, Kevster plays well. Shocker, ladies and gentlemen. But that's such a shame because Glad's not just, you know, Kevster, but I also think the Glads as a whole at least had a reasonable idea of how to play this matchup. There's just mechanical errors from the backline in particular, and just a couple of random deaths really put them in a hole. Yeah. So Glad's knew how to play the matchup. They just mechanical goof ups. That happens. Okay, so here, I mean, this one we've talked about this matchup before, but basically it's just like hard mark the off angles, try to mark the Sombra Tracer, try to keep as much pressure on the Winston as you possibly can. Now, you're going to probably wonder, why does the Winston comp not roll out to this? Don't they want to dive them here? The problem is that if you roll out immediately here, your Sombra and Tracer do not have time to set up off angles to dive, so then you actually lose the frontline versus frontline trade versus the Queen. And by the way, this is old patch, just so everybody knows. So, this is good too because you're going to deny the onto the high ground for the nades. So I think for Gladiators, it's about, obviously you have to be careful about nades, but you do want to try and aggressively look for angles with Kevster, bait dives onto Kevster, and as long as he doesn't get naded or hacked, he should be good. If Tracer pressures him, he's fine. If Sombra pressures him without hack, he's fine. If Winston dives him, he's fine. So Kevster needs to ego, and to a lesser extent, Dante also needs to ego and hopefully not get hacked and naded, same logic, to try and put pressure onto someone's here. So I do like Mayhem's comp a little bit better on this map, but I think it's not unintelligent for Gladiators to try and to do this instead, because you're not going to try and mirror these guys in Winston Sombra Tracer in this map. I think you need to try and mix the tables up. You know what I'm saying? So, and they get high ground too. So they might be able to get point pressure with Yaki, with Sojourn on the high ground. Will Mayhem try to contest the high ground from a flank nade? I don't know. No, they're going to try and rush, it looks like. The Ana Brick is rushable. It's just not very consistent to rush it because you might get off angle by Sombra Tracer while you're doing it. So they might have actually tried to bait a push and then bait the dive. And you can see the problem with the dive right now, right? The timing from these guys is good, but the backline is rotating away because they're scared of being rushed. So this is actually a 5 versus 3, and this is exactly what Gladiators want. You can easily force out Sombra, you can easily force out Tracer, you can easily force out Winston, and then maybe afterwards look for the backline afterwards. So you're kind of like, through the threat of the rush, they actually desync the dive there. And so there's the Sombra's out, the Tracer gets cleared out. Are we going to get any pressure on someone? Someone goes back in, but the Sombra's out, and they catch Kevster on the rotation. I don't... He gets naded, that's what happens. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's what we talked about, right? Like, you need your Sojourn to play an off angle like that, but he can't get naded. He can't get naded. Which is, you know, easier said than done. It's more of a skill check on the Ana than anything else. It's a nice sleep dart that's going to put Dante in the back foot. He does not have shout yet. There is the shout, actually. Okay, I lied. They do trade on someone, though, so that's good. Fight's devolving. Kevster is not there yet. There's another manual hack on a Dante. They're going to try and pressure off of that. There's the nade as well. He's able to survive. I think that was Suzu used there, and then they're going to be able to rush down the Ana Brick afterwards. I don't know if shout was used there, and there's a big mechanical play from Kevster. So, really, Gladiators, obviously, they lose their Sojourn, but they're able to trade the Winston at the same time, and they do a really, really good job of keeping pressure on Mayhem, being able to survive those nade Ana cooldown cycles and then pushing afterwards. From Mayhem's side of things, I'm not sure what Chorong was able to do. Like, you would like to see better, like, you don't want to see the backline from Mayhem fold that easily. You need to see your whip shot, your defensive shield bash, your sleep dart, and so on used better. And I also don't know how someone died in the trade there when Sojourn was already dead. You don't love to see that. Okay, so they're going to try and stage the dive again. Nano and Pulse Bomb might be used on high ground here. It remains to be seen. There is the spy check. They're not going to even nano. They're just going to jump up top. That's going to force a little bit of a rotation. That does force shout as well. Check this one out. So they're all on high. Winston jumps. A little bit of a panic. There's the shout. But nothing happens. So this pulse needs to hit. It doesn't hit. There's the push from Dante. Now, here's the funny part, guys. Look at this. The tank here is actually Tracer. Watch this. And this is important. Remember, we always talk about Tracer should go second. Tracer should go second. You know, if Tracer goes second here, if Yaki goes second here, he probably hits this pulse bomb because they're not paying attention to him. It's probably easier to hit. But because he goes first, look at Ana and Brick. They're all peeling on him. They're not thinking about Junker Queen. And Dante's just like, what is the I'm gonna find the meme. Undertaker. This is Dante right here. Like this is Dante. This is the on a brig backline right here. And this is just Dante. Dante's just like, you know, what's up, y'all? Like he's just like, while the tracer's distracting, they've created this window where Dante just honestly just sneaks up right on top of him. And like honestly, like considering that Dante's on Queen, that's a pretty big deal. That's a pretty big deal. So anyway, okay. Sorry, that was my joke of the day. Anyway, yeah, long story short, they were able to get out of Chorong. They forces the nano out. He hits the knife. The nade is there though. There's the Suzu. Is he gonna be able to? Oh, like it's gladiators are like on the cusp of greatness. Like they're always so close. The Suzu is there. It's good, but they don't get the Curie ult in time. The responsive rally is fat. The stun and Astro kills him. They do commit the Queen ult though, but Chorong shouldn't die here. Although they are stalling things out, the EMP is committed as well. I don't think gladiators are too unhappy with that trade. It could have been a lot uglier. Obviously, you want that pulse bomb to hit. Like, you know, I think you gotta be unhappy with that. But it does cost a lot from Mayhem, and they do get the flip eventually. So, okay.
Now that they've been able to get the control of the point as well, they can get set up either aggressively towards main.
So the big one here is Kevster's ult. Obviously, beat is beat. You know, beat per peel, whatever. But someone is going to primal Kevster's ult. This is a Al Grand Finals play, right? Where you go overclock into primal rage. The advantage should be on the primal, but it does require a decent level of execution. So is Kevster, they're gonna hit them early. They're gonna kamikaze. RuPaul is just gonna kamikaze. Like, look at my guy. They really want Kevster dead, and not only Kevster, they might actually be going for Astro here. Okay, so I think Mayhem realizes that this fight they don't have the advantage, and they just want to roll the dice. So it looks like they're trying to Ajax, but I think they missed the nade. He hits the sleep dart, but RuPaul's just dead. Yeah. Chorong gets isolated as well, and he's gonna die. The beat does come out, but somehow RuPaul lives. He gets Dante off the map, so the coast side fight is really important. Kevster might not even need to ult this. Oh, he does get naded. Ah, great peel. Astro! Oh my gosh, he lives. Yeah, so Mayhem fumbled the bag there. The play for Mayhem wasn't bad, but RuPaul really needs to hit that nade. That like explosion on that rotation was just not there at all. I think the play itself was reasonable enough, but like, wow, Mayhem really do not execute well there. Checkmate is stalling for about 6 years, so but yeah, okay. Did they knife him? No way they knifed him. No way they knifed him. Oh, you're right. Holy crap, what a play from Dante. So there's the knife right there. Right there. He gets pulled off. But then again, like I said though, so even though the knife is the main thing there, the problem there is there's no nade. There's no nade on that rotation. Good catch. So I don't know if he was fishing for it earlier. Like it looks like here that he doesn't even have nade available. It looks like right there was a nade. Yeah, right there was a nade. And he missed it. Oh man, you gotta hit that. You gotta hit that. So yeah, okay, good catch. It is crazy that RuPaul survives. I mean, Chorong dying like fell off, and that kind of became the priority. Okay.
Sojourn the difference maker. I mean, I guess it's pretty elementary that it can punish a Reaper-based composition.
So that wasn't actually the game plan. I think Mayhem were actually looking to play that one a little bit slower, but yeah. Fun fight plan from Gladiators here. This ultimate is better in open space, so why not just take the fight out in open space? You know, this is going to end up basically being last fight anyway, so why play fair? I like this from Glads. As long as he doesn't get naded, he's good to go. There's the nano, there's the peel, very good disengage. You can still get a kill on a squishy here. You love to see it, right? 1 for 1, and you had the opportunity to actually get a kill there. That's fine. Kiriko ult, 3, 2. Oh, you really want Kevster in the Kiriko ult.
No matter how the Florida Mayhem approach, you can just lay that down.
Kitsune rush here. Gonna be huge. Dante caught you that EMP
So they
command
use the
shout.
Kitsune Rush as a counter. I think that's a huge mistake.
Three plays in
Especially when
Here's what I
Lapras
think.
ready with this Kitsune rush.
You need to use the Kitsune Rush now. Now, I know the concern is that the EMP is going to come out and cancel it. So maybe that's why he's waiting. I don't know, guys. Like, you can't wait for them to set this up. Because if you wait for them to set this up, if they set up the perfect nade EMP, your Kitsune Rush isn't going to counter that. EMP does not cancel Rush unless it's during the cast. That's the only downside here. So what I would like to see is maybe here's what I would like to see. Speed me, give me a little bit of speed, and then like rush into them. Or just rotate to the left and rush. Try to basically juke or break the Sombra's legs by rotating away from where she's likely set up so that she's not able to EMP immediately. But you like who uses the Kitsune? Junker Queen, Tracer, Kiriko. The Sojourn might need to dodge it because she doesn't want to be in the middle of the EMP.
Ready with this Kitsune
But
rush, no matter how
get early, like this guy needs to be here, HP wise, right now. Now it has to be now. You need to force bubble now. Even if it's like the Tracer touching, right? Like you need to get the pressure out now. Because if you have an active Kitsune Rush on point and you are taking aggressive angles, you will get a lot of damage out there. You will force cooldowns. I don't think you should wait for the MP. I don't think you should wait. So I have no idea what he Suzu's, honestly.
approach, you can just lay that down.
Yo, what is he Suzu here? What? So I don't like the Kitsune Rush, and this is the thing. They don't even use the Kitsune Rush because they're hiding from EMP. So like, what's the point? Like, this is just terrible. Like, this is a terrible Suzu, terrible Kitsune Rush, and then obviously having a Suzu now would be fight winning, right? Like literally fight winning. So they're gonna literally lose that fight due to that Suzu. But I think also to a lesser extent, the theory of what they were doing with the Kitsune Rush made no sense. That's just terrible, man. That's really rough. So they're gonna go Sombra Tracer for retake, which is fine. And maybe you're thinking that we don't have enough space for a Sojourn to retake with. They had Sojourn ult last time they retook. Is a Suzu debate EMP? No. It's just brain off. That's what it is.
They're actually going to have Kevster switch over from the Sojourn to the Tracer. So a little bit more synergy there from the back line, but Lastro goes down before they can even make
Can't
it
do
back.
that, guys. We're in a last fight scenario now. They do have the Queen ult. Oh, someone? Hello?
Take it back.
Someone dives out, but he doesn't actually get out. And here's the key thing. His Ana Lucio are actually rotating to high ground while he's getting hacked and pressured. So someone overextends. Really bad time for RuPaul to be rotating. And that puts him on the back foot. So Ana Lucio were going back to high ground while someone jumps out as he's hacked and he gets focused down. They will be able to stall.
Those two factors. But right now it's Checkmate just trying to stay scarce on the point here. Mayhem almost let that one flip back here. It's going to have to be a good
Rotation off of the pursuit behind. The Nano's deep. It's good. Forces a lot of attention. They're able to get the beat off though. He's going to go peel back. He's looking for Ana. RuPaul gets caught with his pants down. Does he even get beat? No. Yes, he does. But I don't... Bro, my guy gets melted. So I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe a little bit of a late rotation. I don't know if the amp speed wasn't there or what. He does get the nade. No, he doesn't get the nade off. Okay, there's the rampage. They're able to chase down Lastro. Lastro's W King. There's the TP. Oh man, what is going on, Glads? I really need to look at the micro here. I think that was Suzu. I think. Then beat. Lastro W keys. Gladiators are all stacked in a clump. So Lastro TPs. Wait. Crud. I thought that was Yaki back there. So I don't know where Yaki was. I don't know where the Suzu, if the Suzu was used before, but Lastro is unable to create any distance whatsoever between himself and the fight at all. So he just freaking dies. His TP gets him literally nowhere. And then that's going to be a bit of a mess. Trades are getting messy, but it shouldn't matter if they force Sombra out. They do. And that should be it right there. So pretty clean. Some tough stuff from Gladiators in terms of like the retakes and even the holds. Like a lot of this, some goofy support stuff. Trying to think first fight even. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's rough. Was that a TP bug? No, there was just nowhere to go. I mean, the Glads beat and rushed in, but then he went. But because of that, there was really nowhere for Lastro to go. That particular fight, I don't think was Lastro's fault. I would have liked to have seen. Here is the problem. You guys want to know the problem right here? Here's the problem. This is the problem right here. Astro gets hacked and then demands Suzu just to survive and then to get his beat off. So then when they beat engage, Lastro is isolatable, right? And then therefore doesn't have his Suzu for himself, because listen, if this guy had TP, if this guy had Suzu, this fight goes in a different direction, I promise you. Because look. He Suzu's right now. And then Dante, because Dante has ulted, Dante's across the map. So Lastro actually has somebody to TP to if he had it right now. He couldn't TP to Sombra? Probably not, because she might have been dueling DPS. It might not have been any safer. So yeah. So besides that, that's about all I can tell you there, without looking at the replay viewer in depth, which obviously, ha 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 ha.
They're baiting. Kepster missed the boat on that one.
I think they baited the flower because you're starting to look for it now. So like,
Sigma, Mayhem whipping out the cheese, right? We might see a swap off of Sigma on second. It's too wide for Sigma on second. Ash Tracer on a Brig, anti-dive spam. You know, it's different. But again, someone doesn't exactly have an S-tier diva, so I think that there's more options available to Mayhem, whatever they want to try. So let's see. Gladiators are going to go a weird variation here, where they're going to go... basically, we're playing for first point with a Sombra off angle. Genji dives the Ashe on first point. This will be a Tracer on second. And then we're going to play on a Zen Greed, because you only have a Tracer to contest backline. So we don't need a brick. Killer Monk, thanks for the sub. We don't need a brick. So why would we play like an anti-dive support when it's literally just Tracer? So this is like, we want to dive your backline because you're running on a Ashe, right? But we want the greediest backline that we could possibly have. Hey, Orc, excuse me. Yeah. And the Genji is just because first point's really, really tight. You can immediately dash on the high ground. We've seen Genji a lot on this first point from a lot of different teams. It will transition to a Tracer on second, and if the Mayhem transition to a Winston, which they probably will on second, then we will probably see a transition to Brick. So a little bit of early pressure, waiting for everyone to kind of get set up, maybe distracting people so that they can rotate a little bit easier. It's very important that someone is able to keep a lot of backline pressure, and it looks like he's doing just that. They're keeping a lot of pressure on that backline. He's going to get his shift force, but he's more than willing to take the attention as long as he gets healing from his team, because that means it's a lot easier for his backline to survive. Now, I will say that he probably took a little too much damage, right? That shield would have been, like, here's the thing with his shield. There's no reason for him not to be shielding right now, right? He takes way too much damage before this fight starts, so that's a bit of a mechanical miscue from someone. And that means that instead of being 165 HP, he should be somewhere in the 350 mark, doing the exact same thing that he did there, even if he's missing a little bit of his shield. That's fine. So that puts a lot of attention from the supports onto him, which then ironically exposes those supports to the exact same dive that they are concerned about in the first place. Yaki is out, but Chorong gets picked. Dante gets traded because he doesn't have bubble. Yaki gets traded back as a result. Maybe Gladiators are a little bit too impatient there. They had an advantage, maybe a little bit more patience, and a nice snapback from Merit. Okay, let's keep going.
I guess ignored to a great degree by Winston, right? Just kind of goes overhead his way.
Back up, kite away from that damage.
Okay, so same thing. Just want to see a little bit more HP management. No way. They found Sombra Translocator. They found Sombra Translocator. That's it. Sabina! No, they found Sombra Translocator. So that's going to set things back for the Gladiators again. You saw Mayhem literally chasing them into their spawn. So, you know, early Dynamite. It doesn't really matter. Let's farm it up. Nano Winston. Bro, Gladiators, like... Bro, Gladiators need to work at this. This is basic stuff here, y'all. Like, I don't even know if Yaki's set up yet. It doesn't look like it because he freaking hacks the Sigma. Kevster is nowhere near ready.
Yeah, but how did RuPaul kill Yaki?
Ana Zen are still way behind even Kevster. They can't even peek at all. This is a terrible dive. Terrible. So Sombra's not staged yet. Genji's not staged yet. Ana and Zen aren't staged yet. I don't know what we're doing here. So then someone is completely isolated because Nano, but it doesn't matter because this was the easiest dive in the history of the world to peel off. I mean, nobody was ready for this dive. Nobody. The whole reason that you're running Genji is so that you could dash high ground off of your Winston and actually kill backline. The whole reason that you're running Sombra is so that you can establish a cut on backline, right? You can hack the Ana. You can, or the Brig, so that there isn't a whip shot or sleep dart follow-up. And you can, at the same time, have your Ana Zen aggressively spamming with Discord and high ground or trading on the Sigma. And that's fine because now you have a trance in case you need to peel off your backline. This is just terrible, guys. This is over. Like, Glads are cooked. The push is cooked. They're going to commit Trance. They're going to commit Primal. Let me put it this way. If RuPaul is better with this Nano on Chorong right now, I don't even know why RuPaul doesn't Nano here. Like, this should be 100% Nano right now, and this fight's cooked. So maybe Glads brute force it. He's going to Nano Ashe. That's no bueno. And there's just no way the Glads are going to commit 4 ultimates in this fight and maybe still lose it. Just terrible, guys. Just terrible. Just terrible. You just ignore the Sig? Well, the Ana Zen can handle the Sig if they could do it at a distance. So the Ana Zen would play a little bit further back. They wouldn't push aggressively forward, but they would definitely be further up than where they were. Keep distance. Play towards the Mega, you know? I don't know, guys. This is just embarrassing performance from Gladiators there. And this is the thing with Glads. Like, occasionally they just completely, like that should have been an easy fight win right there. You have all the ultimates you need. And now the Brig swap. And the Brig swap can allow your Ana to like actually take space. I don't love the Brig into the Sigma stuff, but like it's also like your Zenyatta's getting like completely like rolled by shield. But yeah. And again. Again, I don't understand the timing of that dive. Even from a soft dive perspective, it was strange.
Checkmate is 5-0 right now. Completely untouched and tearing strips off of the Gladiators.
Holy crap. Did we actually time a dive correctly?
Rotation. And then can dive on in here. Checkmate is 5-0 right now. Completely untouched and tearing strips off of the Gladiators.
We did.
Mirror not able to get the coach
Unreal.
untouched and tearing strips
We actually timed the dive correctly.
of the Gladiators.
I'm still really confused why Yaki is always hacking Sigma, though.
Kevster finds 2 on that.
Like, if you're going for a Blade and backline, would you not want, like, a Sombra up here? Or at least, like, off-angling from, like, here? I don't understand. Especially with the Brig. I don't understand Yaki's... I think Yaki's Sombra here is, like, really questionable. Especially with the Translocator getting destroyed. Like, a lot of questionable target priority here. This is finally, I think, good timing from Kevster and Dante here. We get at least 2 out of the 3 there, right?
Looking back, and Kevster finds 2 on that.
So Kevster gets there,
So, nano or otherwise, Kevster gets in there.
and someone gets isolated out. Someone's gonna die.
I'm happy to stand corrected on that one. Kevster proving
You hack Ana, yes, or Brig, or anybody, or Ash. Like, you establish an off-angle on the backline. You're playing for the kill on the backline. You're not playing for a soft dive here.
Kevster proving me wrong, and that's going to be a way for the
So,
Gladiators
that was a
to
good dive from
survive
Dante and Kevster, though.
this first checkpoint. But it still remains that the ultimate rotation for the Gladiators right now just isn't super strong. I think that's why we're going to see Kevster go back to spawn.
We're gonna go Tracer.
And that's going to be the Tracer
Yeah.
now, so full dive active.
So this will be fun. How much can Merritt get done with the Ash on this sideline? Like, I think like the Sombra and Tracer are really good too. So it'll be interesting to see
A little bit harder to
how
just
this
walk up the
goes.
back line and put pressure down. But the
Aggressive Ash pressure. Will they be able to set up any sort of hack pressure on Ana or backline? Will they be able to set up any hack pressure onto Kevster, or Kevster, Checkmate, who will not have his buddy Sombra with him? I imagine probably Nano Winston is what we're going to see. Ah, Babel, what is this rotation? Ooh, my butt cheeks, my butt cheeks. They actually go back Zenyatta, which is pretty cute. If this guy is Sombra, this guy's definitely Brig, but they're thinking that like, hey, we can ego cart with like Discord and stuff and get these like nice long juicy sightlines, and because it's just Winston Tracer and we have our Tracer to kind of mark their Tracer theoretically, that we should be good to go. So I don't hate the Zen swap. I think it makes okay. If you hack on it, does the slash dash combo one shot? The hack damage boost only applies to the Sombra. Correct, Tupeler. Yes. I think the Mayhem were struggling to get early pressure. I think someone was kind of misusing his resources. And it was hard for me to say exactly what was happening from Checkmate's POV. But yeah, I think Gladiators had multiple times where they were able to stage dives properly if they'd done it, but it just wasn't working. Yeah, you're very welcome. Okay, so the Zen is a cool choice, especially considering the backline that you have. I'm down with it. Rotation here is obviously a little bit screwy. But they get it, right? Okay, so now really Gladiators can ironically just focus cart. Even with the Ash damage on high, I don't think you have to damage the Ana on high. Oh, man. Lastro just feeds, guys. Like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Like, he just should be playing corner here. It's a matter of micromillimeters, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with this positioning here. There's also nothing particularly wrong with his positioning here, but it doesn't stop there, right? He swings outside the door frame, gets dynamited. The nade doesn't come in. Well, obviously the nade doesn't matter. I mean, this guy, and then he decides to nano him despite him being naded. You really can't peek that. Okay, all right. You guys ready for this? Who was here for the Baptiste VOD review? Who was here for the Baptiste VOD review? Do you guys remember what we talked about with the timing and the deepening of your angles, right? What's the mistake here? Where's Dante right now? Dante's here. He's still here. You notice this? So Lastro peeks out aggressively while his tank is essentially AFK. Of course you're gonna get naded. Everybody's attention is on you. There's nothing else happening. Of course, not only going to get naded, but you're going to get dynamite, you're going to get Ana shot, you're going to get Winston zapped, and everything. Janio, thank you for the sub. So, Baptiste usage for Zen. So, like, the nano doesn't matter. This guy's dead. It's over. It's over.
Coming over there, so they do switch over to the Sombra.
That's a nano Jax. That is
just a quick kill, you know.
yeah. That's a Nano Jax.
All Glad's had to do there was force point, avoid the Ashe sightlines, and then maybe look for a dive later. If Lassiter wants to push off at that timing, I'm more than willing. That was a big mistake from both supports there. Now, how is Chorong going to get value here? I think Chorong will be doing a lot of spy checking, try to deny Winston jump. So even though they're on his end, there's lots for Chorong to do there. Okay, let's look. Now, this fight, probably I don't know what we're gonna do here. You really Nano could be for both. You've got EMP, you got Primal. They don't have a good angle for nade, so theoretically you could Nano your Brig here. You could also Nano your Winston because they're squishies under a backline rotation. So honestly, either one. Yeah, this is an ugly map from Glad so far. Mayhem aren't exactly popping off either, but yeah, this is what we talked about, right? Like, look at someone's HP here, right? He peeks cart, immediately, like, it starts getting slapped around, he's out immediately, right? Now, they do have the Ashe damage, but this is where, like, Zen damage is better than Ashe damage, because this is a high damage hero, this is a high damage hero. This technically is a higher damage hero. However, this damage hero multiplies the damage of this, and this, and this, and this. So generally, Zenyatta does more damage than an Ashe, indirectly, if that makes sense. So if you have fights on open space and point, it's ironically the support that does more damage than the Ashe indirectly. So Gladiators are able to do this here, but then the Ana off angle here freaking is just murdering. Also, check it. Yaki does not know how to play Sombra. This is miserable Sombra gameplay right here. Look at this. Walks into Winston Zap on cart in front of his Sombra or Tracer and Winston, gets cleaved. Like what? And then cleared immediately. Chat, what would Lip do? What would Lip do? Alright, let's play episode number 1 of what would Lip do right now. You guys tell me. Two options. Yep. You either set up your translocator, wrap through and harass Ashe or Ana on the off angle. Just solo hack to keep them pressured. Or you would go under and you'd set up right here under bridge and manual hack Winston from behind where Ashe and Ana can't see him, and that will immediately force someone to jump out or someone dies. And he won't be forced out, so then he will, either option he won't be forced out, so then he will re-stealth, set up, and try it again at a later point, or then take that opportunity to go for high ground. Yaki does not know how to play Sombra. This is garbage. Garbage Sombra play. You do not stack, you do not disregard Ashe and Ana sightlines. Horrible.
Oh, they gotta run,
Yeah, another big bio. That's scary stuff. Rupa in a pretty safe position here. Yeah, another big bio. That's scary stuff.
Yaki gets cleared really, really fast. Now Winston goes in. This is just so... Oh, man. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's count the things wrong with this dive. Now, I'm going to preface this. I'm being very negative, okay? Good teams force bad mistakes. Do you kind of see what I'm saying? Good teams force mistakes. Okay? So, let's... I'm sorry. We just have to. I can't sit here and pretend that this is good. Number 1. Yaki scouted early and immediately forced before the Winston even dies. Okay? Number 2. They decide to commit anyway. Number 3. Tracer is, I assume, MIA or marking, but marking unsuccessfully because Lasso dies to checkmate anyway. So I will reserve judgment on Kevster because I don't know where he is or what he's doing. But yeah. Number 4. you do not force a backline rotation with both supports out in the open at the same time. Do you guys ever see like the stupid cop movies or soldier movies where they're like, cover me, cover me? How do you cover somebody in a gunfight? You send one person ahead, one person holds space and applies covering fire. So what that would look like, and then you slowly sequentially take space like that, is what you look like is you would go, okay, Zen rotate forward, Ana sits here. And then if Zen gets dove, Ana hard pockets without being pressured from cover. So she's able to safely pocket the Zenyatta from here without needing to actually rotate herself until they've baited, survived the dive, and so on. In addition, going into this fight with Nano and Primal, you really can't have your Zenyatta on Zen doing this rotate at all. You kind of have to bait and force point. So it doesn't make sense for anybody from Gladiators to be rotating out aggressively here. Bubble, though? You guys want to know the solution to Bubble? Watch this. Ta-da! Not in Bubble! That's it. You got a Winston kit and the S key. That's all you need. Babble's probably even sitting on nade here. The problem here is that Babel and Lastro are in the middle of Narnia, and Babel is running for his life, when Babel should instead be focusing on keeping Lastro alive, instead of keeping himself alive. Do you see this? And then that means that he doesn't get healing to Lastro, and in addition, he freaking dies to Bob. Look at this guy. The guy, look at Grandma. Look at Grandma. Look at Grandma. BAM! So, terrible dive setup from Gladiators, terrible peel setup from Gladiators, and it's over. You didn't even need the bot there. You didn't even need the nano there. So the mistake actually from Mayhem is maybe actually looking for both Nano and Bob on the rotation when they've just, I think maybe there was a miss Ultruck, I don't know. So poor backline, poor frontline, everything good or bad. Rock, I think it's a little bit of both. Gladiators have looked really clean at times. Gladiators have looked really not clean at times. The better teams are more consistent for sure and have higher ceilings.
Zenyatta in the first place is to be able to give over those orbs of discord and be able to follow up. But the Gladiators are just
Yaki setting up for backline.
Pace that the Florida Mayhem are setting with these fights is too fast that they have to rely on something like this EMP from Yaki to really get the job done. And they've got that they have to rely on pace that the Florida
So
Mayhem
he gives himself away and then gets shot out of stealth on a manual hack.
They have to rely on something like this EMP from Yaki.
Then Dante just
Get the job done. And
dies
that they have to rely on something that the Florida Mayhem are setting with these fights
off of a dive on top. He's over here. He's across the map. I don't even know. He doesn't even get slept or naded. He just freaking dies. He just freaking dies. And then
and they've got 30 seconds left. Have to rely on something like this EMP from Yaki to really get the job done. And they've got 30 seconds left.
Dante. Unreal. Yeah, absolutely mauled there.
they're not even forcing point. Like, the whole point of your comp is that, like, okay, Checkmate just gets stoned. The whole point of your comp is that you have your Discord advantage on point. Like, just force point. Like force point while Dante jumps on the Ashe, for example. You don't even need to jump the Ana. Jump the Ashe, force point, cycle, rinse, and repeat. What is happening? Lastro gets isolated. Oh, there's the nade here. Hits Lastro, there's instant trance. Dante Primal's Ashe. There's the EMP. But there's no follow-up. The EMPs at the moment that Dante jumps off of high ground is on the floor. Kevster can't follow up because he's supposed to be pushing cart. Dante's freaking dead. The nano doesn't get there in time. They're going to nano probably Kevster. They don't nano Kevster in time. They actually, it nano jacks again. And it's over. Probably the worst map we've seen from a high-level Overwatch team this season.
It's a tough sell for me, this Gladiators dive comp. I'm not going to lie. No, that is not on either of those players. Here comes TP to send us forward. Checkmate on the Hanzo. Just a Sonic, though. Probably just.
I mean, they just needed to force point. And then if they're going to dive top, actually synchronize it. And then have your supports actually properly rotating or just contesting and holding space and not doing anything crazy. I don't know.
And we're back on the Tracer.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, the
Floater goes Lucio. Really strange. Really not something we're used to seeing. So what we expect. Okay, so here's why you run Lucio. You ready for this one? Set play. You don't need the Lucio speed the way most teams play this kind of like fishing back and forth on the point. So the first X factor here is that we're running Winston, right? They don't want to run the Diva. They want to actually set up a dive on this backline here. Okay, this backline is reasonable. Okay. So then what I expect here is probably... Okay, so let's talk about what I expect. Where's a frame? I need a frame. Okay, we're not going to get a frame. What I expect is a rotate around far right, so then up through here. And then they're actually probably going to try to speed on and dive high ground, steal high ground from them, play from point, and then stage a dive onto them from Mega. I'm going to draw it up as soon as we get a frame, I promise. Hang on.
We're back on the Tracer.
All right, come on. So they're going to rotate right, I think. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. Here, dive top with your Lucio speed, which Lucio is really good at. Glads have to rotate this direction. Now we have point control. But you can't stay there because the Glads will take off angles and shoot point. And obviously you don't have a Diva, so you're just going to melt on point. But that's okay, because Mayhem, by using this cover here and by using this springboard from here, will have a very quick and short dive onto the backline here that will feel better than trying to dive to the backline here. They rotate from here, not because standing static here is good, no. But they will then use this position to force the Glads on the floor into a more accessible location, using point pressure to force them forward.
But to your point
Watch it.
Before that replay, that's maybe why we didn't see the dive on City Center. I was kind of thinking, well, maybe
I would be surprised if we don't see that.
Brawl coming out from Florida Mayhem, and they might not feel confident enough to be able to.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Chat, do you know what they did?
They might not feel confident enough to be able to run the dive into another strong dive team.
Okay, I don't know if it was worth it. I don't know if it was worth it, but they actually tried to. The Glads have kind of already started to lean this way, predicting this rotation. So then they double back and try to catch the Glads off guard. The only problem is that Babel doesn't actually rotate. Oh, and one other problem: Merit isn't ready yet. Merit isn't actually staged. So that's really unfortunate. But maybe in the chaos, things can kind of be worked out. So a little bit of a mistiming from Mayhem. It's a cute flip, but Babel hasn't actually rotated yet. I would have loved if they had let Sombra set up just a little bit, because if they'd let Merit set up, they would have had better scouting information for this dive, and they would have gotten a kill on either the Honor or Kiriko, I think, faster.
Mayhem, and they might not feel confident enough to be able to run the dive into another strong dive team. Like
good play, but not perfect execution. I don't know if there's anything else there that was like had a factor in there as well. They do catch Lastro on the next dive, and then he's dead. Chorong cannot get traded. Chorong must survive. He does survive. Wow, that's it. So we might... Okay, you guys ready for this one? I predict Chorong to swap as soon as they cap first. Chorong has been 1 HP, I think, for about 6 years.
Dante got slapped by Rupal. Even though Rupal ended up getting eliminated there, stopping the Winston in his tracks, it was an easy target.
He got slapped.
From that point onwards, you just can't trade. You can't trade 1-for-1 defensively here. It just does not look good.
He's unable to... I mean, that's one of the Dante things. I didn't see... Oh, there's the EMP to guarantee it. That's one of the things with Dante is that he's had... He gets slept a lot. I didn't fully see there if that one was... Like, the bubble placement isn't quite there. He doesn't have as much confidence. Now, I actually don't know if Chorong swaps now. Maybe. Maybe he swaps, but he's built up a lot of beat. I think he might swap though. Yeah, there's the swap. Okay, so they don't value the beat as much, which is reasonable. I don't think beat is that good in this open of a map. And they go Brig. No Suzu, that's true. That's true. Like, here's the thing with Dante, guys. Like, it's asking a lot of... Here you go, Graham. Graham, come here. It's asking a lot of a player to pick up arguably the hardest tank to, like, pick up at an L level. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's tough, you know? Like, I know, like, we can be fair with our criticisms of Dante, but, like, you know what? It's a lot to ask. This is a tough meta for Glads, I think. Like, you know, a lot of teams that have, like, these flashy rosters in some ways are getting exposed by the lack of Winston Sombra play, you know?
Charged. And the Florida Mayhem are going to capitalize on that momentum moving forward by taking this high ground.
What do Florida do? Do Florida just try to greed and force point? There's the EMP. That's a good dive from Gladiators. It's a greedy, aggressive dive, but it's there. Oh. And there's the trade. So Florida Mayhem just trades backlines. That's huge. And one ult for one ult, but obviously you roll the dice, you hit a double pulse farm. That's crazy. Yeah, D.Va is better than Winston on this map, in my opinion. Oof. So every time Gladiators have good timing with the dive, Mayhem are like, yeah, but we could do it too. Oh, man. Yes, agreed. There's the point pressure. Tracer with the point. Tracer versus Winston. If they can't get an angle on Winston, Tracer's going to be able to leverage point better. Interestingly enough here, Mayhem decides to aggressively rotate top, which is ballsy given the fact that they're not like fully all in there, but it's a good nano. Great peel. The sleep dart comes out again, and even though the sleep dart doesn't last as long, it gives like you look at this fight and you're like, Mayhem surely dies here, right? Surely they die here, but that they're always like just on the cusp and just like they get the cooldowns, they get the nano, he hits the sleep dart, right? And that allows them to disengage this fight as poor as it did go with the stuck pulse, right? They're able to trade ultimates effectively, and Gladiators are just unable to finish. I'm trying to look if there's anything here to note. It's hard to see if the Glad's dive was well timed. The Winston and Tracer are there. The Sombra is not, and Dante gets slept even with bubble. Yaki's on high ground, so probably not a very well executed dive in terms of like setting up the micro there. We could predict, like even there, Chorong blocks nade, like right there. Like that's a big deal, right? And then Yaki gets caught off guard, so maybe a Sombra locator destruction there. There's an nano on Tracer. There's the rally in response. Kevster gets naded. Dante should die. Dante doesn't die. He does get out, but Kevster gets the recall forced. And he's out. They catch Kevster. There's a solo EMP. Mayhem are just better. They're just significantly better in every single way. I think Kevster, like, there's a lot of moments where you can like look mechanically and like, you know, this guy obviously played well, but like there's just everything, the dive timing, the understanding of how to position his Sombra, the backline rotations, hitting of cooldowns, the tank play, everything was done better. Fundamental team play and individual performance as a whole, I think. And I don't think, yeah, so just, yeah.
1 point.
Well, the second point is
The dive gap is just monstrous. Okay, so this is weird to me. I don't understand why Mayhem roll out on this comp. I understand what the composition's role is, but remember, the goal of this composition is short sightlines, and Koth has those in plenty. But in this map, there aren't a lot of angles available, but there are pretty decent fat sightlines, so this is unusual to me. This might be a little bit of humility from Mayhem, where they don't think that they could beat the Gladiators in a straight mirror. Maybe they're like, I don't know that we could beat these guys in a straight mirror. I don't know. But I feel like at least mechanically that shouldn't be the case. Like this should be a matchup that everybody's happy with, right? Merit, Kevster, someone to Dante. if anything, RuPaul's probably a better Baptiste than Lastro is, right? So it might just be a team execution thing where they've not performed up to snuff, and so that they're trying to whip out some cheese. But this is a weird swap. This is a weird swap, to be honest with you guys. And I think that Gladiators do have the better composition for this map, I think. Obviously, Mayhem loses this one. Again, I have not seen this match, so I don't know how or why. Obviously, the Wraith getting forced out early is pretty sucky. That put Merritt should just die, and he does, yeah. And that's it. So it's just it's the same way that Glads beat it on Koth is the same thing here. But the difference between this and Koth is that it's going to be easier to do that. What are your thoughts on spawn holding? For what Mayhem are running, there's no points not spawn holding because you're not going to get really that much advantage out of the high ground. But it is an interesting test to see if teams would benefit more from holding that first corner instead of spawn holding. I don't know the answer to that. I don't have the scrim insight that other coaches would have playing in the league. But for Mayhem it makes total sense to spawn camp. But for other teams, yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. Now theoretically, this fight right here is where Mayhem is strongest. Not good Sojourn off angles. Very short sightlines. High Moira value. So if Mayhem can't win this one, especially considering there's no ults online, then no, they're cooked. It's a good wall. Counter wall is not good. The payload breaks the majority of it. That's really bad execution from Mayhem. I will say as well, this is the kind of stuff that we don't like to see. Someone gets the big fat, I'm gonna change color, X. Fail Epic 2008 called. Yeah, this is atrocious, right? Like you can't peak this, right? Like look at his HP, right? Like look at this guy's HP, and his team is not even there yet. They need to wait, hold the corner with discipline, wait till the line is crossed, then immediately Maywall and punish. And if you do that, it's over. Donating health before the fight, right? You're giving them a fat wall. Like right now, the wall needs to be there. It's not. And a lot of, you can even see how Yaki kind of goes first to make sure that he gets the wall off, because that prevents this wall from happening. And because they're unable to contest it, then they have to swing around. Someone has to pop his Nemesis form first. There's nothing wrong with Nemesising first, but only if you want to, not because you've been forced to. That's the problem here. And then the wall is bad because they're unable to contest payload, so it breaks almost immediately. And it also does not wall off Kevster, who is the #1 person who you want to be walling off. And then they obviously hit the shot on RuPaul there. But regardless of whether the mechanical play there, it was really poor execution by Mayhem. And that's your fight to win here, because now the map starts to open up a little bit, and you're going to be behind an old economy running a Moira. You don't love to see that. Why would you want to Nemesis first? If the enemy May were to take an aggressive position, trying to get a wall on you, and you could immediately pop your Nemesis form and force their ice block really quickly, then she becomes really fragile almost immediately. Or, for example, you could get on top of the BAP. Like that, use it. If you see an opportunity, go. You could force out a lamp shift almost immediately.
Saw an Oasis. It's working really well. They haven't had to use any ultimates to sort of win these.
So that was very poor from Mayhem.
Yeah, Astro is well ahead in terms of ult charge here, so all good signs for the
3, 2, 1. The Maywall isn't quite as good. They're able to break it. Merritt is unable to take a short silent, and this is just where like they get like there's just no way Mayhem wins this fight. It's just over. It's just you don't have the first ult. You're playing in wide open sight lines. You're not able to set up a good Reaper flank. I don't know. I mean, Gladiators are like actually dominating this matchup right here. Like it's not even close.
Well, that's at least a step in the right direction.
So obviously Kevster's hitting all the shots, but Gladiators as a whole are playing this one better. Kevster a little bit greedy, maybe with a railgun charge there. Yeah, he's definitely a little bit greedy. They catch him with the E as well. Then they're trying to Cole. It's going to force out an early lamp and probably a beat. Yeah, there's the beat as well. So a bit of a misplay from Kevster there. Really nice E from someone there to force all the panic there. There's going to be a counter tank ult from someone. but it doesn't matter. Like, someone is so low because he's getting absolutely railed and then frozen. So yeah, that's good. They are really far behind in ult economy. They don't have beat. They didn't get Blizzard in time, I don't think. Yeah, they don't even have the Reaper ult. I mean, there isn't a whole lot to say here. Kevster kind of messes up, which is why this fight feels hairy. The wall as well isn't particularly good, but it does force. The wall isn't amazing, but it's good enough because it walls off. I don't know if you guys can see this, but Checkmate actually gets walled off. So there's no wall to pursue here. Right there. There's Checkmate, right? So Checkmate actually gets walled off. The peel is there for Kevster. The lamp is forced. The coal is there. The beat, they actually window as well. So Gladiators do commit a pretty decent amount of ults to this fight. But a 3 for 2 and you win is not the end of the world. And again, open sightlines. Kevster already farming up that X ultimate. The only reason it's messy is because Kevster kind of trolls the lobby. So yeah.
Dragging out a little bit more. You can really see the difference between an escort map and in the fight.
Yeah.
Like they just get all these stalls.
I think the first round was by far our most competitive. I feel like even the first round of Koth was competitive, just Gladiators made too many individual mistakes. And then the second round of Koth was obviously very close. On Raw Dive, though, Gladiators looked terrible. And then on this particular matchup, Mayhem have looked total ice cold. Mayhold advantage here is huge. This is the fight that Mayhem not only could win, but should win. I think, you know, Beat is obviously crucial. Reaper ult is obviously crucial. But Mayhold is really the difference maker here. You're going to be able to easily isolate out Dante. And even if he gets that Nemesis form, or that Annihilation, I think this should probably... Yeah, they just need to wall this here. And honestly, just focus this guy. You don't even need to walk in melee range if you're scared of Annihilation. Yeah, there it is.
Okay, I like this. But hey, Immortality Fields, that is...
And they just straight up killed the guy.
Charge up those railgun shots as well, and he's been those.
I don't know what Checkmate is doing, guys. I'm not going to lie with you guys. My guess is that they're expecting the Annihilation, and then they're going to wall in front of him, and then kite out, and then wait until they get one of these ultimates. That has to be the play. But it is strange. That's a very risky play. Very risky play. It would be better for them to do a wall here and then do this exact same play. Yes, you're concerned about Annihilation, but it completely removes the off chance that any of these players do anything. Dante's so far away. I mean, that's just the map, right? You know, that's the map. The confusing thing here is why I think Dante gets stuck, and then why there's no punish from the rest of Gladiators, right? Like, you know, I don't know. Kind of confusing play from both teams there.
Just getting a little ahead of themselves there, but a good setup with the Maywall to make it very hard for Los Angeles to protect their
Kevster.
front line.
Oh my gosh, Astro, chill.
Isolation from the Florida Mayhem to be able to take control after Florida Mayhem. The Florida Mayhem to shoot down. You just have to be careful of Kevster, who could get free.
Yeah, I agree, and especially considering there was no counter wall. I think it was because Glads were so scared of Blizzard that they just kind of like let Dante die.
Knowing that we do.
But yeah, Gladiators now have Sojourn ult. You might see Sojourn ult. You see, the problem with opening with Sojourn ult is that this part of the map... Okay, so here's what I want from Gladiators. I want a full flip all the way here. Then I want a Sojourn ult forcing cart. That will either force Cole, Beat, or both, and then Gladiators just do this. You ready for this? This is Gladiators' fight plan. Relax. Once you get that rotation out, it doesn't matter if they pop Beat, Cole, it doesn't matter. Just relax. Dante can pop his ultimate if he wants to. Just being chilling. You know what I'm saying? The only thing you have to worry about is maybe the TP Death Blossom. But their full flip just get kited back. Yes, but remember, who wins it if it gets forced, if fight gets forced on cart, right? If the fight gets forced on cart and Gladiator's backline looks like this, and both Rams are touching cart, who's going to win that trade? Yeah, so someone's going to get annihilated, right? He's going to get absolutely railed, literally, by these guys. He's going to take so much damage. They have to, like, it's too open of a space or too open of a sightline. So Gladiators, even though they're going into 3 versus 2, if they're able to complete this rotation and Mayhem are unable to mark, then it could be really good. Now Mayhem are savvy to it, right? They know, and then now they're not going to be able to get this rotation off. That's a really good meet by Mayhem. Good ult by Dante, though, and this is reasonable sightlines. Like, Glads aren't cooked. Oh, they are cooked. What happens to Lastro? Why does Lastro just die? He shifts way too early, and then I think he eats an icicle. Yeah, he eats an icicle. He eats an icicle to the noggin. So maybe Lastro, a little too overambitious. I think he also misuses his shift there as well, and he just freaking dies. So that's a huge mistake. You really don't love to see that one. Because I think Glad's frontline was more than safe. Like, this is the thing we talked about this, right? Remember, the goal of the... Oh, just Greg, thanks for the sub, mate. Look, remember, Dante is not at risk here. Dante does not need help. We saw it earlier, but that's because he got 0 help. He's fine. And not only that, but he actually has Annihilation going right now. The real target of these guys is these guys. So I need more patience from the Gladiators here. We don't need to be taking aggressive positions. Kevster should not be using his shift when he knows that they have beat. And Death Blossom. This is a misplay from Kevster. This is a mistake. Lastro feeds as well. We have both our shift and our lamp that could have been used to kite this one out. Not well played by Gladiators. The first fight where I felt like Gladiators, Mayhem outperformed. Now, it was 3 ults for 2, but I think Gladiators want that one back. So they're going to flip left. It's fine. The cart is now really, really far back. They're looking for, you know, somebody hiding, maybe a Reaper. Not someone hiding, but somebody. Oh my gosh. So Mayhem are like, they've got the thirst. Pretty good wall by Gladiators. Even though it doesn't split anybody, it denies their amp speed, so it gives Gladiators time to disengage. The Blizzard is pretty good as well. It's maybe a little bit too deep, but okay, so this is actually okay. What's the worst used ultimate on this fight? Yeah, the window, right. Yeah, the window. Yeah, it's not good. Whenever you see this, you have to create distance. Like, you can't, this isn't gonna work, right? You need to, like, be comfortable S-keying out, get the beat, and then window from, like, either a mid-fight situation or from a little bit of a further distance. Amp Matrix just gets completely negated. And the reason why that's important is because you're like, oh, Glad's pull it out. Yes, but look at what was used, right? And so then Checkmate actually builds an ultimate mid-fight, and every single ultimate from Gladiators was committed versus a Annihilation, and then they get traded. I don't think they walled off their own window, no. I mean, I guess, but it's like, Gladiators need to be in a better position to kite this, and the problem with BAP window is it does not imply kiting. The Blizzard is fine. It forces a really nice split. It also freezes the Annihilation. It gets the kill. The Blizzard is, it's good. The window, worthless. This is when you would need your window right now, back here, actually used to clean up the fight, right? If they have the window better placed there, Reaper dies instantly, May dies instantly, Lucio dies instantly. This fight's lost. To be fair, Glads, we're clearly outplaying them early on, but Mayhem seems to have accrued their composure a little bit. I don't know how this map goes. Like I said, I don't know how the series goes outside of the final score. But yeah. Yeah, Checkmate's Blizzard was pretty good, yeah. It's hard to nail down a speed boosting Ram, but he managed to just barely do it. Or no, Yaki I was talking about. But yeah, Checkmate's Blizzard was great, yeah. So now Gladiators are kind of screwed. I'm assuming a rail is hit here. Let's see here. Yaki wall, Yaki wall, Yaki wall. Yaki wall is pretty good. Again, like you see like the obstruction, right? Gladiators, the wall from Checkmate isn't quite there. They force the split. They're able to rush down and kill Lastro. I honestly don't even have a problem from Gladiators here. The only mistake that you can maybe argue from Gladiators is you need to be decisive about if you're going to split and hold or if you're going to stack and kite. So in other words, when you go into a fight when you don't have any ultimates, you either decide, guys, are we going to split and like hold our space and try to aggressively trade, or are we going to group up, bait the ultimate, and kite out? Because right now, Gladiators kite, but then that isolates the BAP Sojourn on the other side, who are not in a position to kite it out. So Gladiators need to be able to find a way to trade. You know, and that's, by the way, like, it's not a huge mistake from Glads. You know, you didn't have an ult going to that fight. The Mayhem did play that one really well. Maybe also you can say as well that, like, hey, this is one of the situations where the Mayhem comp is actually pretty darn good. Watch for Yaki wall next fight. Is it better to keep it up or remove it? Depends. If it's an active obstruction that's hurting your team, then remove it. If it's doing something, even if it's a bad one, it's better than nothing. Okay.
40% awaits with sound barrier of his own. And if
Probably just a beat or a Death Blossom engage on something. Good walls from both teams here. One is to isolate these guys so that they can rush on the other one. The funny thing, though, is there's a lack of communication. Like, Mayhem gets split. Watch someone. Watch someone. Someone's like, hey! Oh, wait. Oh, okay, we're going over here. That's a bit of a mistake from someone. He needs to know that they're walling those guys off. Bap and Sojourn. They get the nice wall. They need to go. Sojourn should die. Oh, no. So they lose the speed boost, which is crucial due to Yaki's wall. They use their mobility cooldowns. Capsir breaks their ankles. Lastro is able to run for his life. And look at how open the sightline is. It's a greedy fight plan from Mayhem there. Very greedy fight plan there to take that fight out in open space. Now I'm curious why Dante ults. Nah, I mean, it's whatever. It's not that big of a deal. Wait. Mayhem uses sound barrier? Oh, and it only hits 2 people. Ouch. That's unfortunate for Mayhem. Exclamation mark coaching, Thomas. Yeah, this is a mess. And in these messy fights in open space, Gladiators comp is better. And messy fights in closed space, like we saw a few fights ago, Mayhem's comp is better. No problem, Thomas.
I mean, look at this. Blizzard over the point. That's all you really need here at rolling.
And this is the thing with the wall, like another good wall from Yaki. It splits off the May. Watch someone's HP. They're going to get early pressure out. It's going to force some cooldowns. It's a good Blizzard on point. Good BAP window spacing here. And Merit is unable to get to backline.
I mean, look at this. Blizzard over the point. That's all.
Merit TPs to the flank, is unable to get to the backline. The window just completely shuts it down. Yeah, it's really nice execution set up there from Glads. I'm surprised that even worked as well as it did. Checkmate tries to clutch it out. It gets really messy here. That death from Lasser really felt unforced. Like, you know what he's going to do. I don't even know why he jumps. He just needs to stay on his feet, drop lamp, and Merit dies, and Lastro lives. So another unforced error from Lastro. And this fight should not have even been close. Yeah. The window placement was good, though, yeah. Yeah, I think it was a bit of a panic moment from Chorong the other fight, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
So there's the Ana. This might be sort of a hybrid where they're like, okay, we're going to rush it, but it's a more open space sightline map. Kind of a weird hybrid. But yeah. There's early pressure on someone. They hit the nade on Dante. They hit the nade on Yaki. That's going to force Ice Block, and Dante gets walled off. Annihilation. That's a nice wall. Gladiators are able to get out of that choke there. So, yeah. Bit of a weird fight from Glads there. A little bit forced. A little bit too antsy, you know?
Wow.
So, Mayhem going to this fight with Nano. Probably going to see a Nano Ramatra. They need to get onto Baptiste's Sojourn. They need to get a Baptiste on Sojourn. Otherwise, you're going to have a hard time securing any kill. There's the aggressive push. The wall is, honestly, Not great. They're able to get everybody that they want out. Dante pops the Annihilation early. Chorong is low. That's the Nano Ramatra. He's able to get onto Lastro. Yes. That's it. Kevster gets the kill. A little bit of a weird fight plan from Gladiators. I was not expecting them to play that one as aggressively in that short sign as possible. I think they're going to be wanting that one back. Weird play from both sides. Not great, not terrible. Some good fights, some bad fights. I think Gladiators have looked good at points. Mayhem have looked good at points. But I really could go either way. Do you think Kevster should have been more aggressive there with his team taking all the attention? Yes. Yeah, Glad's really, there was a little bit of a desync with the aggression there. I don't know. So Mayhem goes more traditional. Now I like the Hanzo in this matchup, on this map. I really do. So if Kevster doesn't hit every rail, I think Hanzo better, personally. I think the damage output is higher. I think the ultimate isn't as bad as people give it credit for, at least in this matchup. My question is we can't have Kevs, like, we can't have Merit here, and we also can't be like aggressively trading in this choke. Like, I don't know. Mayhem are kind of like brute forcing it a little bit. That's a really fat E from Dante there. But Gladiators are able to just kind of stuff them in a choke. Mayhem are unable to open things up, really. Oh, RuPaul is 1 HP. Someone gets smoked, walks right into a back window. Merit on the angle. He's okay. So one thing the Merit can do is... Oh, Astro gets exposed here. Is finding ways to get up into this position right here is really important, right? They're able to get out of the choke there, and that's going to be crucial. Merit dies in these mid-fights. He needs to be playing a little bit more safe. The Hanzo is more fragile, right? So you need to kind of keep your distance here. That was a weird fight, I'm not going to lie. Good news, though, is that the cart is moving past this corner. So I guess you guys kind of saw like what holding the first choke was like. I think maybe the reason why that's bad is that like the cart moves past that brutal choke right there on the corner, which now Hanzo means that Hanzo has space now, right? I mean, I'm surprised Merit's here. Like, I feel like Merit should be actually playing over here. I think that's the best off angle for Merit to be. It's a much longer sight, and so I'm not happy with Merit's positioning. It's really weird how Mayhem are playing this. Like, I guess Yaki's going to die, but this feels way uglier than it has. Yeah, this is terrible execution from Mayhem. Like, D-tier execution from Mayhem. The dragon is error, I guess, but Merit's positioning afterwards is terrible. They pop Suffering and Blizzard at the same time on the same target. So all of Mayhem resources, and they even use Ice Block too. So everything from Mayhem's going in on Yaki. So Yaki naturally dies. Chorong gets kind of caught in the middle of nowhere and dies again. This keeps happening because Dante trades. And then now Merit, who doesn't have a sightline worth jack diddly poop, is sitting back here getting zoned by a Ramatra, while Kevster's sitting a million miles away with Sojourner. So, you know, great shots from Kevster, obviously, because the guy is crazy, but really horrible fight setup from Mayhem, and poor ult usage. 3 ults dumped into 1 brawl fight, and they barely get the kill, and they get traded afterwards. Ugly from Florida. So then they're going to swap Sojourn, but you're swapping Sojourn to compensate for the fact that you weren't positioned properly in the first fight to begin with. So then he's going to take something that can play a little more aggressive off angles, but he had the map available to him. So a big ult fight from really both teams, but Gladiators just play that one significantly better in terms of how they position, and they took their spread. There's the angle. Sojourn takes the angle early, builds up a little bit of rail. He's going to use the E. He's too far for Ramatra to chase him down. So you can see, like, Nante wants to zone him, but he's too scared. It's a nice shot from Yaki. That's going to be basically a one-shot with the BAP window. Well, no, actually, it's not even the BAP window. But yeah, again, good setup from Gladiators. Will they be able to clean this one up? It's getting ugly, guys. Mayhem are kiting this out. Will they be able to kite it out in full? They will. Okay, so the kind of a reset there.
4 seconds to go.
Okay, RuPaul.
Bap window on point should just win this one. I don't think Gladiators will build their window in time. There's the Bap window. Break the wall, break the wall, break the wall. Mayhem doing a good job. Gladiators play do a good job avoiding it. Astro does not quite get his beat in time. They do a good job finding him down on the flank. Notice, by the way, that they had a hit squad of May Lucio off of the Bap window on main, right? They didn't just Bap window on main, they also pincer pushed. Kevster just hits a shot because Kevster. May ults are traded. A lot of people are low. Yaki, they get the beat in time onto check. Wait. Did they not just kill Yaki? They don't kill Yaki. No way Yaki doesn't die. Oh my goodness gracious. Then Astro comes back with beat. The off-angle for May is good. Someone is in really deep, but both teams are in really deep here. And Merit, the key thing here is that Merit isn't there. Merit never gets back in time. Gladiators just outclass them on the brawl. Really unimpressive work from Mayhem. Good stuff from Gladiators. The old fights were looking pretty good. Honestly, pretty nicely done. Would it be fair to say Kev is the top 3 Sojourn right now? I don't know. We don't see enough Sojourn to know for sure. I don't really know. It's like really hard to say. You need like more footage to know. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even then, it's very hard to know without like POVs. I mean, he played well mechanically there. Yeah, so Mayhem really fumbles the bag with their old economy. Multiple times during that map. Yeah, I don't know. It was good. Gladiators deserve that one for sure. For sure. Okay, let's keep going. So yeah, this will be interesting. We've talked about this on the Oasis City Center. Same kind of thing. Early pressure. Dante doesn't want to play Winston. I think first fight Junker Queen is also pretty powerful because there's not a lot of high grounds for Winston to leverage, at least on very first fight. So I think its Junker Queen is pretty darn good. Okay. So Glad somehow win this one. I wonder if they stick with the queen throughout. That's the question for me. I would be surprised. Kiriko Lucio, just because you need the cleanse for your Junker Queen because she doesn't have any way to deal with nade. And also, we're probably going to be looking at times the Gladiators will be looking to rush and rotate and push on a brig with using the Junker Queen shout. So it's not just a, hey, we poke with our Junker Queen. It's also we might rush with the Junker Queen. But if Mayhem's backline plays it well and doesn't get immediately sped on and they do hit their nades, then I think Mayhem's comp is objectively better here. This is just more of a, hey, we can't match you on this comp, so we're going to fight dirty, right? We don't hit nade. They do hit the hack on Babel, though. Frontline trade. Someone just freaking dies. Big carnage, big shot. Papa John's. Wow, he gets melted. That's a misplay, a rare misplay from someone. Maybe even a misplay from support, because you're going to notice something from RuPaul here. Look at someone's HP. It never budges up. But this might be why. He is hacked by Yaki as we speak. In fact, you can see him getting shot here, or I think that's a whip shot from Shorong onto Yaki. So the supports are looking at Yaki at the same time they push someone. It's pretty good timing from Gladiators there.
That was not smart. That was not smart. Hoping maybe there was a bit more pressure on the back line of the Florida Mayhem.
I mean, it was fine. He just misplayed it. Like you're putting pressure there to just like zap, disengage, just to build ult charge. You need to play it smarter there.
The way that the Gladiators played that positionally did not allow for RuPaul to have clean sightlines onto the Winston. So no.
I mean, RuPaul had fine sightlines onto the Winston. He just was hacked. That's all.
This is not a rhythm you want to be on if you are the Florida Mayhem. This first fight going.
So. You're probably going to see a dive top. Maybe some pressure on front line here from a flanker. And then hopefully on a Brig will at some point be able to rotate top. But you got to be careful because you don't want to get sped on by the Queen Lucio. So let's see.
The way of the gladiators is huge.
You see, they're stuffing this choke aggressively here. That's a defensive anti-nade as well. And I want to point out why that defensive anti-nade happens. It's because Yaki is holding an off angle and pressing M1. So as poorly as Yaki played on Blizzard World, this angle is good. I actually don't like the Kiriko Lucio positioning here. I would have much rather preferred the Kiriko actually ahead with the Sombra right now to punish this rotation so that Yaki could do even more damage and Babel could do some damage himself. He doesn't need to be here. So they're able to keep a lot of pressure on the main tank there, and Merit just freaking gets the kill. So by the way, the Sojourn swap is really interesting. The Sojourn swap is basically saying that, like, hey, there's really no threat of anti-nade here. I can just farm up a rail and just, even if it's just a body shot at anybody, it's just like a free kill. Also, it's really, really, really easy to isolate and kill out Queen with the Sojourn stuff. It's an odd swap. Clearly, Mayhem are doing this for a specific reason. Those are a couple of good guesses, but yeah. Matt Babel freaking dies. I don't like Babel's positioning. I want to highlight that again because Babel not only is exposed to the Ana and Sojourn sightlines, he's also not helping his DPS control an off angle. So that's really depressing. The shout is used. Dante is low. He doesn't hit the cooldowns that he needs. He's really low, and this is gonna be a fight. Ouchies. This map has the best ending so far. All right, I'm looking forward to it.
This time they keep a respectful distance. They don't just send someone in, you know, overpass, down, jump back up, get hit.
Okay, now you've got Mayhem backline on high ground, which is a huge problem for Gladiators. Because you don't have the Winston jump to be able to directly engage top. They're going to try and speed top, but you're going to be able to nano the Winston on the rotation, case in point, and that's going to be like a lot of damage, right? And that comboed with nade. It was not. I don't even know where nade was used. Maybe they baited it right there? Yeah, right there. They baited on the rotation. He does hit nade. Yeah, he does hit the nade. I'm blind. Yeah, so that forces a little bit of an early shout. There's your cleave. There's your zaps. RuPaul gets killed by Kevster on the flank, I believe. I think Kevster was actually... No, Kevster just blinks right through, actually. I was expecting Kevster to wrap around from Mega side. But Kevster actually just blinks right through. Blink, 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 and gets him. So that's a huge stick. A little bit of a misplay there from Mayhem, considering how well that fight was set up. Controlling backline. Someone will need to jump out. They use the EMP. But the punish isn't there. They're not able to synchronize the punish. Again, like, the EMP hits a lot of people, but I just question, like, where's the follow-up? Like, were Glad's not ready? Is that Yaki's fault? Is that Gladiator's fault? But that's ugly, guys. That's ugly. You go 4v4, hit a 3-man EMP, and nothing happens. Yeah, I won't be disappointed.
This is why the Junker Queen.
Yeah, that was ugly. That was really ugly.
This is why the Junker Queen has weakness it does into the Winston composition, especially if you're not going to be playing any supports that have good range healing. Someone just pops down the Winston bubble, and what do? You can't heal through that. So that just pops down the Winston bubble, and what do? You can't.
So they're going to try and get capped. Someone's going to disengage. RuPaul is obviously very late to the party here, so they're going to try and just hold this high ground here. They're actually going to... Does he hit a knife? Yeah, he hits a knife on Merit. So Merit's low. Merit's able to get out, though. They're trying to keep up as much and early and often pressure. Really, the key thing for Gladiators is they need to kind of get backline somehow here. I don't know whether that's Sojourn, whether that's Ana, whether that's Brig. You're going to be able to force point, maybe look for a manual hack onto a backliner, and at that point in time, like, look for either a beat engage, Suzu engage, or not Suzu, Kitsune rush engage. They need to kind of force their way off the top. It's a huge stick. That's going to put them on the back foot. That's going to force more of a defensive beat than a push beat. Strangely enough, RuPaul drops. That feels scary. I don't know why he drops. Maybe it's because Kevster's pushing them at the top. It does look like that's what's happening. But maybe a little bit of a miscue there. I don't feel that was necessary from Mayhem. And that does expose him to being traded. The Kitsune Rush kit comes out. Merit pops ult. The ultimate hits as well, and that's going to be really fat.
Gladiators to go forward with. It's a rally for the Florida Mayhem, and Merritt is trying to battle for some.
Yeah, see what here's what happens. Here's what happens. After the beat is used, they are trying to focus down Dante. That's the play. I don't know that I agree with this play, but that's what they're doing. They're going, okay, the beat is down. This guy's used shout. We know that he has ultimate. Everybody, they nade him, they drop on him, and the second that he tries to use his ultimate, we're gonna bash him. It's a set play. They're trying to force Dante to use ultimate and then bash him out of it. But the problem with that is by dropping, you expose yourself to the rest of the gladiators and the Kitsune Rush. And even if you bash it, if you don't bash it immediately, which they don't, bam, it still hits 2 people. In addition, Merritt doesn't have the support he needs on high ground because his supports have dropped, so he has to drop onto the floor himself, which reduces his angle. So it's a nice sleep dart, but this is actually probably going to be lost by Mayhem through just a little bit of hubris off of a set play that doesn't quite work out as well. Oh, maybe not. Oh, never mind. Merritt just carried. This is known as a caster curse, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, high risk, high reward play there from Mayhem. It ends up working out okay, but spooky. Dante goes swappity swap, and then here we go. Now, are we going to stay Kiriko? Kiriko with Lucio is a little bit harder. There's not as much healing. I already have gone over a little bit Poopy earlier in the stream. Right before I started this. Is that your name? Poopy. What was Dante doing there? I think he was just pushing top, but like in classic Gladiator fashion, maybe it was like desynced. I don't know. Let's find out. So Kevster slept. That's huge. They're unable to get the kill on Merritt. That's also huge. Then they push. I don't know where Yaki is. They're spy checking him, but there's no punish on Yaki, and Merritt just kind of RKOs Babel. So yeah.
Before that bot is able to reach that checkpoint, but it doesn't have much farther to go.
That ain't happening.
I don't think Ramacha comp is as good on this map. I think it's the speed of the Queen or the anti-Sombra Tracer. Sombra Tracer is a little bit too strong here for Ramacha, I think.
The JQ is giving them value diving headlong into a Junker Queen. The Gladiators, though, don't feel like the JQ is giving them value right now. They're actually going to be forced over to the Winston composition with Lucio Kiriko, by the way.
Now, you have to dive top. So here's what I want. 3, 2, 1, Winston jump, next bubble. Maybe even a TP plus Suzu from Babel. Yaki over here, or over here, and then Kevster blinks up top. Losing the Sojourn means that you do not have Mark on this. I wouldn't be surprised if Merritt swaps Sombra next fight. Yo!
Content is still so good and
I appreciate it, mate. Do you think with the proposed Widow changes for Aces 5 Ashe, she's completely useless, or does she still have a place? I think she still has a place in the minute. But we'll see.
Sort of, I guess, support line for a dive strategy here.
So, Will... Oh, the nade is blocked. Ooh, 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 ooh. See, this is the problem with the Gladiators dives. Do you see the problem with the Gladiators dives, y'all? So even though, like, RuPaul beefs the nade, like, RuPaul really beefs the nade here, right? He doesn't hit the Lucio. But this is the problem with this is the problem with Gladiators dives. Here's, do you see what you see on your screen? Sombra, Tracer, Winston, all in a line. Not a single cut from behind.
Sort of, I guess, support line for a
no angle on E-dive. So nice kite from Mayhem, but also it's like painful, like how stacked they are, you know? Like I feel like Yaki being even just behind there from Mega would it be, and then obviously the rubber band effect, you use all the cooldowns, the other composition snaps right back and then you're cooked. How do Glads win this, guys? I don't know how RuPaul dies. That's probably a little bit of a mess there.
Really, healing output is all favors to try to keep a Winston up and alive. And even though Funny Astro's healing output is always
bold.
So strong.
For the high ground.
Is always so to try to keep a Winston up and alive. And even though Funny Astro's healing output is always so strong and alive. And even though
is Dante on the left?
It's really not going to do you any favors to try to keep a Winston up and alive. And even though Funny Astro's healing output is always
So I think they send Winston from the flank with speed from the Mega Room. And you can see Astro is also following up. Watch. You see this? He's actually speeding Dante up. Watch Dante's ult charge. He's trying, right? It's just a little bit off, right? Like, look. Look. If this is just a tiny bit better timed.
Up and alive, and even though Funny Astro's healing output is always...
If it's just a tiny bit better timed. Right? It's a high risk, high reward play because they're on high ground, but I also don't hate it in theory from the Gladiators. It just needs to be a little bit better timed. I understand that it's hard though because they do have rally as well. So it's like it's hard. Like, let's put it this way, guys. For all the Gladiators crap that we've seen so far this series in terms of garbage dives, that was one of the least egregious ones that we've seen so far. That was one of the least offensive ones. It was really close. It was a high-risk, high-reward play. Kevster couldn't be there because that would have spoiled the entire surprise. They would have seen it coming a million miles away. The timing wasn't bad. It just wasn't quite perfect. Like, obviously the result sucks, but considering the previous comparing it to the previous EMP and also the stuff that we saw in Blizzard World, this is like a step better. I don't know Arcalog. Without knowing their comms, you literally can't know. But again, I don't think that was the worst thing in the world, you know?
Someone just double back straight away. That's another unsuccessful EMP dive set up for the Los Angeles Gladiators. Toronto's having to get the rally.
Yeah, I'm telling you that objectively is not the worst Gladiator play dive that we've seen yet.
Someone just double back straight away.
What is bad though is that Gladiators are unable to like stabilize. Like, this is like something that Dante has to do better at. Like, Dante has to do better at disengaging here. Like, he loses track of his supports. They should be able to kite this one out and survive it. The rally's still active. He's unable to do it. So this turns into, instead of a 1-for-1 ult trade, maybe forcing some chaos, instead it's 1-for-1 ult trade, and it forces the chaos and the fact that Gladiators lose here. Yeah, I'm more concerned about how Gladiators responded after that happened and Dante being unable to disengage.
Giant rally to be able to help bolster up the team's defenses at the perfect moment.
How did Glads
Florida Mayhem
win
are
this?
looking to
Someone?
at the perfect
Hello?
moment. And now,
What is he
Ellie to be able to
doing?
help play around that has been so pivotal. Chora
This is
once
a little bit of
again
hubris
with
from
giant
someone. He's going to
rally
jump
be
in
able to help bolster up the
aggressive.
team's defenses
He's going to
at the
bubble
perfect
really
moment.
late.
And now,
Then get his
Florida Mayhem
primal
are looking
force.
to approach this final objective. Look at the primal rage of the building.
Very disruptive. Means the Gladiators can't.
Terrible from someone, y'all.
This final objective. Look at the primal rage of the building.
Very disruptive. Means the Gladiators.
Oh,
Are looking
what?
to approach this final objective. Look at the primal rage moment. And
Watch
now,
it, guys.
Florida
Manual hack. Tracer Pincer. RuPaul and Chorong are falling asleep at the wheel because they're so focused on their Winston feeding that they don't actually rotate to a better position. This is terrible. This is horrible from Florida. Huge mistake. Look, the on a brick push forward. It's over. Wow. Backline traded. Easy. Chorong should die. 3, 2, 1. There it is. Dante. I'm surprised Dante even primals. I guess he gets kind of low there. Probably wasn't necessary, but yeah.
The Mayhem now have, but it's Kevster and Yaki this time able to get in there and find kills. Sans ultimate uses.
That was terrible from Mayhem.
The disruption that brought.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of just sloppiness, right?
Finally, the Gladiators have a chance now to start moving forward with both support ultimates.
No, it isn't the worst problem. I don't think like it was 100% necessary, but like, you know, it's fine.
Deficit they're finding themselves in. They're going for the Kitsune rush. They really want to catch someone here. And look at
Weird.
They're well behind, if I'm honest with you. This is a significant.
I mean, I'm fine with it. Blow up someone, I guess, just guarantee the fight win. The stick was good as well. I'm okay. It's a little bit of an expensive fight, but you know, cart's moving, and you are going to get a little bit of a stagger here. I don't know why Checkmate blinks back that direction. And this is where like Glads hit their groove, guys. Like I don't know how to describe it. I don't even know how accurate it is, but you always have this feeling with some of these Western, hey Virashi, with some of these Western teams especially, not Western team, but there's like this Western culture of like, this like confidence that kind of snowballs a little bit, where they just start like coming up with like these aggressive plans, and then they go, all right, go, you know, like it I don't know how to describe it. It's like not strategic knowledge so much as just like everybody's on the same page because we're coming up with like a fight plan together. Glads have always struck me as a team that does this. Toronto, the current Toronto roster, has always struck me as a team that does this. I don't know. I don't know if I'm describing it well, but yeah. Wait, Merit swapped with Ultimate? Oh yeah, that's tough. That is an interesting decision.
Being able to capitalize on an opportunity provided to him.
Right. So like Glads tend to snowball a little bit, right?
Protect the back line.
Either direction. You know, either in a negative sort of like you were saying, like a panic way, or whether like, you know, building up some confidence. You know, and that's not a Glad specific thing, but it does seem like Glad's a lot of the Glads don't necessarily have the same level of like structure to fall back on when things go poor. I'm completely just guessing here, but like the lows of the Glads are so atrocious. It feels like there's just nothing. There's no idea, you know, like there's no sense of like direction whatsoever, or any idea of like what we're supposed to be doing. When are we supposed to be diving? Like there's so many horrible, yeah. So the tough thing here, by the way, is that Gladiators have high ground, which is usually a huge advantage. But first off, you don't have lead, so you actually can't just stay here. You need to actually push. And the second thing is that the Kiriko Lucio doesn't really benefit that much from the high ground as much as like an Ana Brig does. So I'm curious to see how Gladiators take this fight. We might just see a beat engage on backline. It will be interesting. Florida was confident. They want to stop this out. They might get a stick on Dante here. You need to whittle down his armor. Oh! So Gladiators absolutely are looking for the beat engage. Look at this. So they're going to go... They're looking for the beat engage. You see the Lucio drops here, and you also see the hack on the Ana. So they're actually like looking for a pincer. You can also see Dante's slowly... You see Dante looks this direction. They're looking for an engage. But check it, ladies and gentlemen. Merit on the flank. Hacks Astro out of beat. Ooh. And now Glads are cooked, right? They're now like this looks reasonably set up, like they've able to close the distance here, but it's over. It's over. Because even if you're able to get a trade here, like even though you're like, oh, we're getting kills, like the push, the respawn advantage is tough, right? Did they even get capped? They did get capped, so they got that going for them. Oh wait, what? Oh my gosh, that is a huge play from Gladiators right there. Because I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, the kill there is massive, right? Now Mayhem are going to be able to get the Riki test really fast, and then the lead. But now, like, it's actually the Mayhem who are dying late now. Was that Kevster, guys? I don't know who that was. Somebody shot checkmate from behind. Oh, it was Babel. Babel hits a headshot. Watch it. Bang. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Babel hits a headshot. And yeah, we don't even get to see what Kevster's working on the backline there, so that very easily could have gone very poorly, but Gladiators get a result that's equal to as, or if not better than what they were intending there. So that's huge. And now, like, okay, Yaki, please don't EMP Winston. Please don't EMP Winston. Please don't EMP Winston. That's a mistake. That's a mistake from Florida. Do you guys see it? I'm gonna let you guys sit for a second. Tell me what goofs up here. Because this is a not good EMP. Yeah. Look at the time. This is someone's mistake. Someone needs to be listening here. But look, RuPaul rotating, can't get it in time. He's It's not a good EMP, guys. You see, this is why we can't be like results based, you know what I'm saying? Because that was not very intelligent from Yaki.
Yaki has another EMP.
Because Yaki should see that Ana is right here. You see this? RuPaul decides to late rotate. And Yaki is unbelievably lucky that this works out. Because they don't even have... So the thing is like, even if you had an Ana here, this guy dies through Nano. Because he gets naded, right? But there was no Ana. Very fortunate. So the previous EMP, I was less angry at. This EMP is worse. Solo EMP and tanks is usually fine. But not now. Not when you don't have nade. Not when when the enemy team has nano. So that again, this was a bad EMP.
Just get someone. It's a guaranteed EMP, and Dante was already there for the other side of that pincer.
Nano break to catch. Will they be able to trade as a result?
In a position to actually do damage. It looks like the Gladiators are kind of happy just backing off here, letting Chorong stand out in the open.
Oh, Kevster, you can't get hacked like that, mate. Is that a nano range though? From here, I'm not sure. From here, yes. So
it looks like the Gladiators are kind of happy just backing off here, letting Chorong stand out in the open, lit up like a Christmas tree until that nano expires, and then the Glads go again.
I just don't see what the Gladiators see. This is just where the level of understanding just isn't there. You know, like, I just don't... You know that he has rally. So, you're not really going for the hard kill here. You're kind of going to zone these guys back and then focus on point or tracer, if anything. But Dante overextends outside bubble again, gets naded, slapped, and then dies with primal. Like, this is the kind of stuff you can't do. Like, you're gonna force a dive 5v4, okay, so actually finish the kill or bait the rally, then disengage. But Dante not only does not successfully get the kill, right, but he also dies. Yeah, agreed, Unito. And the other thing too as well is look at the setup from this as well. Yaki here. So then yet once again we have the Ana Brig are able to S-key kite out in one direction and not get pincered. Yaki's not predicting the rotations very well, and so he's getting kited out. Good defensive nade, good defensive rally, Dante freaking dies. Bash, sleep dart, CC combo. You're seeing that a lot actually in the Overwatch League where Winstons haven't adjusted to the new rally yet. They get kind of caught. So nice response from Mayhem there, despite someone's feed.
And take over the lead, and you only have a primal rage and a Kitsune rush right now to the
Babel turns to heal Kevster also, so no healer Suzu, right? And then Astra's diving in. Yeah, the Kevster hack was also a little bit on Kevster as well. I think you got to give some credit where credit is due. Like you can't be getting hacked there. Okay,
So this should be a fight one for the Mayhem, and that's gonna put Gladiators even further onto the back.
ugly positioning from Mayhem here. Going into this fight with Kitsune Rush and Primal, a little bit of sloppy positioning from backline here. Like this is a rare Mayhem L. Backline are not only split, but they're super far forward into a very close rotation. RuPaul gets hacked. Chorong is still rotating. They do get the cut. Yaki finally gets the cut. They trade with EMP though.
Mayhem, and that's going to put Gladiators even further onto the back foot to be able to take this map.
So there's the EMP. Where's the Suzu from Babel? Babel does not get Suzu'd and dies. So Babel fails to dodge EMP and ends up dying. Oh man, that was really poor from Mayhem. Both backlines really played that one poorly.
Gladiators mid-step while they're already fully committed to trying to dive on the Mayhem. Nicely done. And a great salvage of a fight. They could have gone wrong. You lost your honor at the start of that fight.
Call there from
But
for the
respawns.
Mayhem to
So,
reveal-
oh, checkmate get hacked.
That was a really great call there from
Yes, he
Florida
does.
Mayhem to be a little bit
Unfortunate.
more patient,
You can't see
but
that. You can't have that.
Oh dear.
Checkmate going down.
He
Means
got
that the
hacked, I think.
Gladiators are going to be able to come back with the early leads though as well from spawn.
It's a
Great
setup
stagger catch.
to secure the kill.
Huge mistake from both Chorong and Checkmate. I think Chorong needs to be giving that one up a lot faster. Mayhem have to respect that a lot more than they did.
He got hacked, I think.
The disengage is really slow. I don't even know if Chorong had Basher. He bashes way too late.
There to secure the kill.
There's the primal. That's honestly a fine primal here. We can secure the stagger here. There's the stagger. The cart's still moving. And now Glads basically can almost guarantee a secure on the lead.
Two players set up and there's already a flank here. Check that high ground. Kev's is getting in position early for this fight.
To be fair, Gladiators have speed. Yeah. So there's an early primal. They are really trying to defend the lead. They're trying to punish on someone.
For this fight.
Yaki gets the hack, but gets his locator force, so that's unfortunate. He's going to be out. There's Merit being cleared out. So there's a good stall from someone, honestly, all things considered, but now he should just die to Pulse. I'm surprised they don't go for the Pulse bomb on someone. Maybe it's because they track Nano.
Translocate there for Yaki crucially, but Yaki comes back with an EMP. Keep that in mind.
Must be because they track Nano.
Kevster, shaking for the window, no one there to pressure him down.
They zone backline. Winston's going to be focused. There's the beat? What is the beat for?
But Yaki comes back with an EMP.
Maybe just they're just calling like beat push. Yeah, Dante gets hacked as well, so the beat does get value. The nade on Chorong is there. Chorong also bashes out. They just need to focus point. Merit freaking dies. Does he get hacked or does his translocator get hunted? He might. It looks like something happens off screen in terms of he gets hunted. The Nano Winston needs to be there. There's the Nano Winston. They hit the pulse. But he's on Astro, who might die here. How do Gladiators are fine, right? Okay, so there's 10 seconds. Okay, so they should be able to get touch. RuPaul probably needs to go Lucio. Or Kiriko. Yeah. Merit should get touch.
Should be able to touch the checkpoint if it's not Merit first, and then Checky gets to come in. Once they hit a touch point, if it's not Merit first, they're able to come back. Someone should be able to touch the checkpoint if it's
Does he just not?
Merit
No, he has to touch.
first,
Like,
and then Checky gets to come in. Once they hit a touch,
like, how do you not know
if it's
this?
not Merit first, able to come back.
This is what happens when you make hit scan players use their brain.
Merit first, and then Checky gets to come in. Once they hit a touch the checkpoint if it's not Merit first, and
Jeez,
then
man. Like, this fight was like,
should be able to touch the checkpoint if it's not Merit.
I mean, it was winnable, guys. Like, Chorong's coming in there with Rally. Checkmate would have been able to get the second touch afterwards and would have been able to stall for quite a long time. Monkey would have had jump briefly. I mean, this is a win. This is very winnable. This is a very winnable. It would have been ugly, but it was a winnable map. Merit touches, then Checkmate touches, then Checkmate stalls, then Chorong's could get touch afterwards. Someone gets next touch. We have an active rally. I mean, we've seen crazier things. There's some C9s where it's like, you know, this fight was lost. This one, I don't know. This one could have gone either way. Okay, well, I mean, I don't know exactly what I want to say about that map. What a very messy map. Some really, really crucial mechanical mistakes from someone. Some goofy goof ups from the backline. I mean, someone honestly trolled that map. Like the thing with push is you can't. It's all about the timely errors, right? Checkmate gets hacked and dies, then Chorong gets staggered afterwards. That buys like 30 seconds. Like that buys them. That gives them essentially the lead, right? Before that, someone wastes primal, backline gets traded, costs them the entire lead there, or that entire push there. After that, someone dies to freaking solo EMP. Another situation where a lot of free push is given up. Why don't people go SIG on maps like Havana Junkertown anymore? It's mostly to do with the DPS. It's the DPS meta that's stronger. It's not that Sigma is bad necessarily. It's just that the DPS meta isn't very favorable to Sigma. Like, Sigma's fine, but the problem is that at the pro level, Sombra and Tracer and Kiriko and stuff are not Kiriko and stuff, but like Sombra, Tracer are too good. Hit scan weak. Yeah, I know everyone's like, oh, you know, I hate hit scan, but at least in the pro level, hit scan is kind of weak right now.
One of these points.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Mayhem looked pretty messy that map. Okay, so Mayhem looked awful on this composition in the Shambali. They had no idea what they were doing. These guys looked pretty good, but these guys looked pretty darn good on the Koth round, which is what we see here. So I don't know. We'll see. Check before I started this review. I looked it over.
And this is a good one. We're heading over to Icebreaker right now. And with
so obviously Moira Reaper May means that you instantly win this high ground. This composition isn't going to try to win this choke. It's just you're not going to win it with Bap Sojourn versus Moira Reaper. So Mayhem are going to try to close the gap. But the danger here is that theoretically it should be easier for Kevster and Laster to take sightlines on this back high ground. Not even high ground, but this back angle to get pressure on point. So I actually like Gladiators positioning here, and unless something screws up, I actually feel like Gladiators have a slight advantage in this matchup and this current rotation. There's another one of those wall trades where like they just kind of use it just to try and prevent them from pressing W. There's not really a split there. So what do Mayhem do? What do Mayhem do? What do Mayhem do? Do they try to do a weird rotate? They don't take damage. They do a really good job not taking damage. The wall there is pretty good. Like, okay, what happens here? So, Yaki doesn't get his Ice Block force. They force Wraith early. The wall is okay. I mean, it kind of funnels him into a choke. It forces Cho-Rong back. The wall on Dante is fine. Kevster swings wide. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if Kevster fed with his shift or not, but that is a huge misplay from Kevster if so. That should not have happened. I think if you look at that trade right there, I think Gladiators are pretty happy with that, but something goes terribly wrong in the water. I don't know what happened there. They had the setup that they wanted, and they somehow fumbled it. He must have slid at the angle, and they rushed him down. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But that was a like I think the only thing I could say that went really badly for Glads is this wall on Dante is pretty brutal. Maybe Dante needed to play this one a little bit smarter, but he gets caught right here, and then look at his HP, right? He gets chunked, right? So maybe that's the only thing that was a little bit hairy, but even then it's not that bad. It doesn't even cost them lamp. So without looking at like anything else there, I think that cooldown trade could have and should have gone Gladiator's way, but Kevster honestly feeds. Should maybe playing stack with Ram? No. Your job is to prevent the look at what Yaki does from being split. If he's stacked with Ram, someone checkmate Merit, run him over. He's off-angled here. He prevents the Reaper from pushing. Look at this. He just forces Wraith by himself. And he walls off to help his Ram stay alive. And he doesn't get his Ice Block force, so he's still aggressive. And he's able to keep hitting Icicles and keep doing damage. He still gets the Maywall he wants without being stacked on Ram. The only reason you should stack with Ram is if stacking with Ram is the only way that you get the Maywall that you want.
Taking the Sojourn out of the mix is a big deal, and Yaki is going to be cowering from inside that ice encasement.
Even freaking May taking off angles, yo.
You don't want to give Gladiators the opportunity.
So Mayhem kind of cheats that one, and that one's big too, because the key thing about this matchup, especially in Koth with the shorter sightlines, is that this ult is way better than it has any right to be on this particular point. There's not going to be a lot of space to hit a BAP window, even if you are to rotate coast. It's going to be pretty easy for them to stack up. So it's where the Moira first ult advantage is a little bit more important than it would be on other maps. So you're probably going to see Mayhem just go 3-2-1, run it down, yeah. Now the question is do they pull it too quick? Because Lastro is playing back. Kevster still has this slide. Where is Yaki's wall? Does Yaki wall the Ram? I imagine the answer is yes. I don't see the wall. They do wall the Ram, or try to, and that might be... No, they kite it out. That's a really good kiting from Glads there. Costs lamp, but it's good. Now Mayhem is going to try and pop. Now this is cute. Mayhem knows that Gladiator's going to try to do the rubber band thing, right? Bounce right back, but technically Gladiators don't have any cooldowns yet. They only have the window. So Mayhem goes right back, runs in with a Nemesis form. Wow. That's good. Even with the Blizzard there, that's really, really good from Mayhem right there. That was high level team play right there.
That's a good strategy.
No, you're not. No, you wouldn't stack on May. No, you wouldn't. Just because you're playing a Lucio Moira rush comp doesn't mean you take angles. Your optimal rush, in fact, is stacking here. Reaper is able to take a short angle, and May takes a slight off angle to get a wall on ramp. I mean, you can stack with Ramacha, but you don't have to. The only weakness about May splitting is that it's a little bit harder for Moira to heal you. But this is about like as niche of a circumstance as possible, and even then it's not perfect. But that was great. Gladiators swap.
You can see that Gladiators are now going to try to match Mayhem with the Reaper and the
Interesting.
Moira too. So going for more of that survivability, and this is not a look we've really seen from
I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know how good Kevster's Reaper is.
That's my thing. I'm the Reaper guy.
See, they're trying to take off angles there. There's the Blizzard. Merit marks the off angle. They walk through the choke. See, this is the mistake here. I actually don't think it makes sense for Gladiators to do this rotation. Hear me out. Why should Gladiators not do this rotation? It's a mirror, right? It's a mirror, right? So they have the Moira and the May and the Reaper, right? But why? Well, beat for beat. May ult for, let's say, Ramacha ult, right? And then they still have an advantage in the old economy. You're running into a choke where every single one of the ultimates of Mayhem is going to be powerful. I would rather go coast and like create a little bit more open space, room to kite and play around one of their ultimates. Yeah, it's ugly. It's just 3-2-1 wall freeze. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't even freeze earlier, honestly. And yeah, the beat is late. I don't know if that's just because they're used to the BAP sustain and the lamp and then the beat. But this is a disaster for Gladiators, right? Ooh, checkmate for someone. But yeah, it's over. It's over. It's, as the kids say, over. Wait, no way Yaki gets out alive. No way. No, he doesn't get out alive. Okay. So a neutral rotating this way is fine. I mean, it's okay. But you still have give the enemy, like the defender's May wall advantage is still pretty significant, right? So I don't even know if in a neutral it makes sense because they always will have the better May wall, and that's going to be it right there. Okay, this is it, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on to your butt cheeks. Here we go. So they open Reaper May. They're going to open co-side. Now, the reason why they don't open here, anyone want to guess why these teams don't open here? Here's a question for you. What happens if Gladiators roll out on BAP Sojourn and you roll out here? Yeah, you get spammed. You get a lot of damage before you can close the distance. Your Reaper Moira does jack all, and you got to walk the gauntlet before you even get here. This has cover. So both teams, I don't know if this is on purpose from Glads, because this honestly feels like a last-second rotation from Glads, but at least you can cut the sight line short by doing this rotation. Have I ever killed anybody, Spylo? Don't ask me questions I shouldn't be answering. So early wall, both teams. They're okay. The Mayhem wall is better because this one has a gap. So the checkmate wall clears Yaki wall by just a little bit. And that's going to put them in a cooldown disadvantage because they're going to be able to rotate around, get a fat E. Checkmate does not get his ice block forced. Yaki does. Lastro's MIA, basically playing ping pong from back side to side. So that's unfortunate. And Yaki should freaking die. He does, and that's the first fight win. So wall advantage forces a really nasty resource split. Let's look at the Reaper play here as well. Reapers are both late. Reaper breaking through wall. Reaper. Merit's just able to get through there. Why is Merit there so much faster? Okay, he gets Lucio speed. That's the difference. I think he also uses Wraith as well. So look at the difference in the Reapers here. Again, I want to highlight the wall difference. Oh my gosh, gifted sub. The Spylo Blue Ridge. I thought you said Ruby Ridge incident. But the Reaper, because of the Maywall, is able to get there faster, and he also gets Lucio speed. So then Merit is able to walk on Yaki, and that's ultimately what does force the Ice Block in addition with the better Maywall. So, yeah, little things, yeah.
Position, and at this critical juncture, Lastro's got to fade away, leaving Yaki all on his own. He's quickly
that's a tough Maywall advantage, speeding your Reaper in tighter as well. It's not even necessarily Kevster's fault. He's just unable to do anything before the fight even is over. What? Whoopsies. Don't love to see that. I don't know what happened there. Ooh, this is ugly.
That'll take a little bit of time for the Florida Mayhem to get online.
Ruby Ridge, I don't know who that is. Bro, what do you expect? These guys are products of the American public school system.
Someone was making a beeline for him there, so making sure everybody gets out alive. And they're off to a good start. And look, they just want the Glad.
So a little bit of a jukes from Gladiators. They're gonna force point. There's the damage orb. RuPaul hits his Cole first. And you're gonna notice here that really the target priority. Now, anyone want to guess who the target priorities in these compositions are? You're a fan of Waco personally? How do you know about that? They went to the prestigious ISU. Yes, I heard they studied really hard. Target priorities. Yeah. So Lucio is technically like the most killable target, so you're not wrong, but it's like he's harder to kill. Let's put it this way. Lucio is the easiest to kill outright because he doesn't have the defensive cooldown, but he's more slippery. So usually May and Reaper. You guys want to hear a true story? I'm gonna a small tangent. Little baby tangent, okay? There was a team phase 2 that I coached back in 2019. And all right, and we were in like this major stacked region, and we had, I mean, do any of these names stand out to you guys? Tanner from high school, Sox, Buck, Salt Shaker, some of you guys might know, Lep, Nishik, Don, back when he was super toxic, Pika, I don't even know if you guys remember Pika, A10, I coached A10. Yeah, anyway, long story short, we were the year previous to them, they were terrible. I came on and I brought my good friend Temporal, and obviously we were just the GOAT. And so we actually made it all the way into playoffs, and we came one game away from qualifying for Korea versus all these stacked, like these teams are stacked, right? Anyway, long story short, I mean, it was a great season. Like I feel like I did some good work coaching. The players really stepped up. Long story short. So we were the innovators, this and our academy team phase 1 of May Reaper. And basically what happened is there was a game where Don's internet, you guys remember Don, he lost the internet. Dutch internet just turned off. So what happened is we're playing square one, and we're one map away from winning the series. And A10 says, Spylo, trust me, put Salt Shaker in on Rhine. We can go goats. We can beat them. I will micromanage Salt Shaker. Trust me, I will carry. And A10 is like super chill, smart guy. Love him. Loved coaching him. And so I said, all right, Alex, get out there. And we lost the map. But we came one team fight away from beating Square One and Goats. Because A10 like freaking deadlifted his socks off. I mean, Salt Shaker was the Orisa OTP back in way in the days when she was trash. And Goatsman, the guy who would OTP and Orisa. So anyway, we gave it a shot. We almost did it with Salt Shaker on Ryan, which was an insane deadlift by A10. And Salt Shaker says, "Hey, coach, do you trust me?" And I said, "Salt Shaker, Juan," I think his name's Juan. He still texts me like once every 6 months. "I do trust you. Go for it." This is in hard goats meta, guys. So we roll out Nepal, and we run Orisa, May, Reaper, and I want to say, yeah, Orisa, May, Reaper, Torbjorn, Bap Lucio. Orisa, May, Reaper, Torbjorn, Bap Lucio. And we won the map. Versus goats. And what that did, and now here's what you guys don't even know. Here's what you guys don't even know. We almost beat, these guys were powerhouses. We almost beat Atlanta Academy on Paris running the same comp. We almost beat them running the same comp in a match. I got a message from these guys being like, "Wow, you guys were like actually hard, like your innovation." This was back when Gator was playing. Now, this is the crazy part, because we were exposing how strong these DPS were. So guess what happened as soon as DPS, guess what happened as soon as the 2-2-2 lock filled in? Guess what meta we went right into? Orisa, May, Reaper. And guess who popped off in the Orisa, May, Reaper composition once it came playoffs? We did. And all of this tying back to our current thing here, the reason that we carried is we only had like a week to prep for the match. And so the only thing that we practiced was socks on Reaper, or no, socks on May with A10 on Reaper, calling cooldowns of the enemy May, Reaper, Orisa, and cycling our target focus. We would focus Orisa, fortify, May, ice block, Reaper, Wraith, back to Orisa and kill her. And our target focus, we literally didn't even talk about angles. We just talked about target focus and timing. And because we only had a week to prep, it was like a cheat code. And we did really, really, really well. Just basically off of quick target, target. Yeah. And so, you know, with everybody just on the same target, and the reason why this all ties into that is because that's kind of what this composition needs. Is like, you talk about target priority, you go May, but you only go May to force her ice block, then you immediately turn your attention to Reaper, you force the Reaper, then you go back to Ramattra and force them to block, then you go back to the May, and it's kind of like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're seeing here, and when we get things like Coalescence here, he needs to find the Reaper in May. They need to find that target quickly. And so you see ice block here. I promise you we're going to see some pressure on checkmate right now. And you need to. Will we? Yes, we do. In fact, he has to wall himself to stay alive. They get the freeze. Dante pops ult. There's the ult in response. And really the key thing here is we see ults traded from both sides, but Yaki isn't anywhere near close to building. Isn't anywhere near close to building his May ult. I want to see if there's anything else that we can see in the neutral. This is the last fight, so we might as well. So we started the May Reaper. Yes, we started the May Reaper. We innovated the May Reaper. We were the first team, to my knowledge. We played it in Goats meta multiple times, found a lot of success with it. We pulled as a juice, yes. So my fault. Actually, it's only partially my fault. I gave it the green light, but it wasn't my brainchild. I was the head coach, but I wasn't the strategic coach into the team that came up with it. So off of a cooldown disadvantage, the May wall is not great from Yaki. Dante pops a little bit of an early ultimate. Checkmate walls it off. Then the Blizzard is fat. That forces a Wraith. Where is Kevster doing this? I'm sorry, chat. It's actually like... Yeah, it's honestly just a really bad May wall from Yaki. Like, let's put it this way. If they knew that they were popping this, and they get a May wall right here, they force Wraith, and they force block, I think this is just a really bad May wall from Yaki. Because that completely shuts down Kevster's ability to walk forward. Kevster also walks forward and then has to Wraith out. Dante gets booped back into the Blizzard and ends up dying. Yaki doesn't build his... So the first fight goes really poorly. Yaki's unable to build the ultimate. The wall is also bad from Yaki. I don't want to like overthink that one too much, but yeah.
It was Sound Barrier and Coalescence. Mitch, they used both. Gladiators used both support.
Wait, he's in it? What are your thoughts on RuPaul's positioning? Yeah, I mean, RuPaul kind of trolls there, for sure. Because I don't think they were expecting the Dante ult there.
Mitch, they used both. Gladiators used both support ultimates in that fight, and it wasn't enough.
Oh, that is a very bad omen. It is an ill omen.
Wait, does Glastro use Cole? How am I just now seeing this?
For the attackers here. All right, good Coalescence timing. This is excellent. RuPaul getting a ton of value from the Cole as the Annihilation came through.
Oh, man. Bro, they just lit him up. Like, I'm not to be, like, not to cop out here, but you can blame a little bit of that. Like, it really might just be as simple as a bad Yaki wall and Mayhem's target focus just being, like, brilliant. Like, they wanted blood. Which is, like, a little detail, but I literally just told you how he, like, literally beat teams that we had no business beating because of our target focus and like that little things like that, right? Like Dante should live that, right? But they didn't, right? So I don't even know that it was necessarily a bad call, you know? Like I think that's a little bit hindsighty, you know? I think if anything, Gladiators just don't look as cohesive on this composition, right? You know, the May walls from Yaki, he's had 2 inferior May walls in a row. Yeah. I will say this kind of stuff makes me want to weep. This is we've talked a lot about like how Kevster Reaper not really been an issue. It's just been. This can't happen though. This is stupid. Why are you pushing in front of your team? Instantly Wraith Force. They almost catch him with Maywall. And then now like he's down the cooldown in case they were to push. So it doesn't really end up mattering, but he could have gotten caught for that. Yeah. But I also think it's like, we will see how this map plays out, but so far, you can't tell me that Lastro is trolling on Moira, at least from what we've seen. You can't. And you also can't tell me that Kevster is trolling on Reaper yet. Although after that last fight, I'm a little bit on the mend, you know?
Just go into the back line here, wait for it, the Gladiators to walk in, or just go in their face.
Oh, okay. Kevster goes for it first. So Merritt, it's a sound barrier here. So
In Merritt could just go into the back line here, wait for it, the Gladiators to walk in, or just go in their face. Go into the back line.
I take that back. Kevster's trolling. What's the mistake, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, by the way, fun fact, Checkmate's already 88% to another ice wall. So watch Checkmate's ult charge. Just watch it. Seriously, watch this guy. Watch this.
Oh, that is a very bad omen. It is an ill omen for the rest of this map here.
Watch it. 37, 46, 57. These are headshots, by the way. 62. 65, that's a body shot. 70, that's a headshot. 74, body shot. I mean, he's not missing a shot. He does get his ice block forced early, though. This is the weakness of the Moira, right? Like, you can't be in 2 places at once. So they see the ice block here. But right, yeah, the problem with the Death Blossom is he goes before the cooldowns are forced. Reaper Death Blossom, you hear me out, is one of the best ultimates in the game if the stars are aligned. You guys saw it in the Grand Finals last season, right? If there are no cooldowns available, it kills everybody. But every cooldown, Ramatra block, boop, fade, ice block, ice wall, fade, wraith, everything counters it. So I don't know what he sees here. They might have seen ice block, but he misses it entirely and doesn't even hit the May. But also, if you're Gladiators here, you need to be way more aggressively pushing this while you Blizzard this. You see this? This is where, like, you can break this down into, like, mechanical misplays, but it's really not. It's just not as good team play. I mean, someone definitely needs to be able to kite this one out, but... Wait, what happens to Chorong here? Mayhem fumbles the bag here, too. Again, double support ult used. The Blizzard isn't countered. This is where, like, the Reaper, like, really comes into play, like, the damage. The Boop is there, but he doesn't have information. So, they do get the kill, though. Honestly, guys, they just did not expect them to have Blizzard that fast. That's all it really is, right? But it doesn't end up mattering that much. So rare L from someone being able to dodge that. But honestly, it's not even that. It's more on the fact that someone is probably dead, and Chorong gets frozen, which is unnecessary. And RuPaul layers this. What you should be doing instead is let freaking someone die, push afterwards with Cole, try to clean them up after they've used cooldowns. You know? Ramatra Guide win? I don't know. Maybe. So nice boot from Astro. But also, like, you know, I think, like, poor Death Blossom 1. Poor Death Blossom 2. Not great support ult usage from RuPaul there. And Checkmate gets his Ice Block forced too early while he's greeting on the flank. That's the big takeaways. But what are we going to do now? Are we going to say RuPaul's trolling on Morio as well?
In that previous fight.
Okay, and Funny Astro has the sound barrier this time around as well to be able to hold on to. So
yeah, using Death Blossom and Blizzard at the same time was interesting.
Control of this point. There's nothing online for the Mayhem here. So as long as somebody doesn't get picked off in the Gladiators, they should be able to keep control for now.
Merit's 10-1.
So by the way, notice what Chorong's doing. The Lucios are here, by the way, dueling each other because the Reaper off angle onto the enemy Ramatra is like a lot of damage, right? If you were to push, you like establish the flank. So both Reapers are marking each other, and Lucio Boop is like really Lucio damage and Lucio Boop is like super impactful in the Reaper trade. So that's why you're seeing both Lucios here.
For now.
Cool little micro trade. Chorong is dating the worst of it for sure, so he needs to be careful. So he has to end up disengaging.
Control for now.
Merit or Checkmate is trying to save wall. He's actually on the flank over here. Be able to disengage. That forces an early. Merit gets caught on wall, so that's a little bit clunky there. They need to ice. The ice wall is really bad from Checkmate. The ice wall is terrible. The ice wall needed to be like, if anything, honestly, just here. You're on the back foot. Just ice wall, reset, disengage. But then they're all going to be dead. So yeah. So Mayhem really fumbled the bag with that one. Chorong loses the angle. Checkmate takes an angle, doesn't get good value out of it, misses the ice wall, and they mess up the disengage.
Gladiators still have their work cut out for them. They didn't have to blow the sound barrier in that last fight, so that's another tool in their arsenal to be able to contest with Florida Mayhem's.
Yeah, that annihilation was super easy.
Ready to go with that on top of a coalescence from RuPaul also coming up very quickly. So tons of sustain, and it'll be very hard to take someone down. So the sound barrier going to be pivotal in this next fight for the Gladiators.
Ultimate fight here. We probably see a Cole engage, maybe force a beat, then counter with an annihilation. And as long as Mayhem are able to hang on to their cooldowns into the beat engage, they should be fine. The Blizzard is a little bit of a concern, though, from Yaki. So let's see. They force point. There's the Cole. They're actually going to combo both immediately, which is really weird. They force the ice block early, which is really important because now Yaki, who's the main threat, you notice, by the way, where this Cole is aimed at. Again, it's not a mystery. It's immediately locked onto that May. It's locked onto the Reaper. You get both cooldowns. By the way, Merit timing this at the same time. They get both of this is it. Like you can look at this and be like, Mayhem probably win this fight. But Astro, the legend that he is, hits the beat as soon as these guys exit. Now RuPaul has to fade out, and then they counter with Blizzard. Someone is frozen, and they counter right back. Mid-fight Death Blossom from Merit. He gets a little bit of Lucio speed. Could really go either way right now, but the Ramatra's alive, so they're probably going to disengage that. Very nice beat from Astro, mate. That was good. That was really good. What was odd to me was the combo of the ultimates here. I would have preferred to have seen an aggressive push here with Cole, and then maybe the Ramatra ultimate channeled now, if anything. Also, it's worth noting that the Ramatras have not been able to dodge a Blizzard. That's credit to the Maze to an extent, but also enough perma-nemesis should mean that there's at least a dice roll about whether you're hit or not, and every single time we've seen Annihilation countered by Blizzard, which is a bit of a problem.
Oh my goodness, this is not looking good now for the Mayhem, actually. So Gladiators, there might be
So
able
Mayhem
to
layer ultimates, someone's ultimate is almost
Peninsula.
irrelevant entirely.
It's
He
all
gets
gonna come down
frozen,
to Kevster's
and
Death
yeah.
Blossom that needs to be able to buy enough time
Was
for
Lastro Cole needed? I keep missing these Coles. Probably not, no. But also, it was used while the fight was still going, so probably so. My question, the real question here is, when was this ice block enforced, Wraith forced? So both cooldowns at around 127.10.
We're going to be cycling now. Funny Astro, yeah, forced finally to part with that sound barrier. He held on to it for a long time, and perfect timing for him to come out here.
Yeah, I don't know if they had these cooldowns back again. But obviously the question is did they have these, would they have had these cooldowns? Like, it's close. Like, he caught it at, like, maybe the second right before they get Ice Block and Wraith. But obviously both of those kills feel a little bit bad. Get ready.
They might be able to do it. They want control.
Mayhem should win this fight, though.
Able to bring us to a round 3 on Antarctic Peninsula.
What you might see from Gladiators is one of two things. Whenever you're at a disadvantage, you either do one of two things. You either run it down, focus the Lucio, focus the, whatever, and just let it rip, right? Even though there's still cooldowns, you try to focus down the Lucio and let it kill. Or you play really, really slowly, look to wall off, disengage, look to survive, keep kite, anything.
Down to Kevster's Death Blossom.
There's not a lot of pop-off potential in this composition because the mechanical, like, there's no headshot, one-shot headshot besides, like, May. So you're going to see, in fights where one team has an ultimate advantage, it's a lot harder to, like, overcome. So they're looking for May, they're looking for Reaper. Can we find a way to force this ult? Let's beat N. They're going to focus May. There's the Ice Block. There's the Blizzard. There's the catch with Reaper ult. Honestly, really not smooth from Mayhem there. Like, there's a little bit of a panic here. The wall from Checkmate is no bueno. The speed in, they forced the Ice Block early. Was that deserved? Yes, he was very low. Death Blossom by Kevster is honestly not too bad. Probably could have waited a little bit longer before he did it. But honestly, not the worst result in the history of the world for Glads. 2 for 1, and 2 very important ultimates with Beat and Blizzard. Just used for Death Blossom. My only problem there is that, like, maybe Kevster should not even use the ultimate at all and just come into this fight with it. Yaki's going to go Sombra, what I assume is to touch.
There's one more fight on the line here for the Mayhem. If they win this next one, they're going to the mid-season. RuPaul has that coalescence, and we're going to see a quick panic pick from Yaki.
He gets his translocator destroyed. Oh, no.
And it's going to be RuPaul as a great...
There's the rush out. They immediately Nemesis form out. That's going to force... What is that going to force? Sombra has to disengage because she doesn't have the defensive cooldown. He doesn't really force anything with this, right? The Sombra messing up the touch causes a little bit of a panic, and they're not able to force... They do force Wraith. They do force Wraith. So that's good. Dante can keep the Reaper honest. And Gladiators are able to stabilize, kind of, sort of. There's the pursuit, but Dante overextends past, and he's going to die for it.
That's really the only way you can shut RuPaul down, and Cole is the only thing that protects the Mayhem from this annihilation right now.
Yeah, he just gets greedy. He gets a
a
little bit greedy. And then they're unable to pocket him. He gets a nice boop, or they get a nice boop from Chorong, who wraps around behind and boops him out into the open. And then they're going to finish the kill off of that. There's the beat. They need to lock down the Reaper or somebody. They're unable to. Mare is able to Death Blossom. He gets traded out. The Cole is huge. Yaki needs to survive. Yaki cannot be dying on this hero. I don't know where his translocator is, but he's dying again. There's a huge punch.
Someone gets the annihilation, and this time there's no coming back.
Man,
from
and they're
it.
so close to
But
ults,
Revolt on the
too.
point, and that will be that. The Florida Mayhem have booked their
Oh,
ticket to the
that is
mid-season
brutal.
madness. Outlast
Did they find it again?
Insurgent Los Angeles Gladiators averting the reverse sweep, showing true grit and determination. We'll see you in South Korea.
Wow.
What a heartbreaking loss for the Gladiators, though. Oh, such
I mean,
range of emotion happening on screen right now. You can't help but feel bad knowing
good
how
for the
close
Mayhem.
the
I mean, they're
Gladiators
clearly
felt
the better
to be able to
dive
get
team.
there. But boy, did Florida
The
Mayhem
question
earn
for
that
me is, it's
privilege.
like,
They looked great on those first two maps,
Oh,
and
man.
they made some quick adjustments on that final map of Antarctic Peninsula to be able
I mean,
to get this
the Mayhem just just had slightly better ult trades, like slightly better ult trades. I don't think there was like a huge gap in the execution outside of the last round, where they just took really bad pathing from Gladiators to kind of hand them the fight win. But I don't think there was a major gap between these executions in terms of like the brawl comps. I feel like the moment Glad swapped the mirror, it was over. I don't think so. Not the I mean, come on, guys. It was a 99 to 99. What do you guys like? I mean, that could have gone either way. And this was a really bad first fight from Gladiators too. Like they actually the reason why that's important is because they also lost the next fight because their first fight was so bad because they didn't have a near enough ult economy here. I mean, I think Glads did remarkably well on this matchup. I think they swapped it was over when they swapped in the mirror in the previous round because they're brain dead rotations through the choke. But I didn't think there was a massive gap in here. So I don't know. What tweet am I looking at here? What is this? Notice here that really the target now, anyone want to guess who the target priorities in these compositions are? You're a fan of Waco personally? How do you know about that? And you're gonna notice here that oh man. That is so dark, man. Oh my gosh. That is really quite dark. Oh my days. Okay. Well, questions, answers, takeaways. Mayhem better dive, unless when they fumble the bag. Gladiators look catastrophic on the fundamentals of dive. Really were only able to kind of pop off when the stars aligned or when chaos happened. The brawl matchup was messy. You know, I think Glads definitely had the advantage in Shambali. They deserved the map win there. This one really could have gone either way. I think the Glads scuffed it up, but Glaster didn't have a great game. I was very unimpressed by some of the backline performances on the first couple of maps from Gladiators. I don't think Yaki had a great game. A couple of tough EMPs, a couple of tough Maywall stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. I think someone griefed Esperanza. Blizzard World Glads just looked totally incompetent. Yeah. This one here, just too many individual mistakes. Yeah. What should Glads work on? I mean, you gotta dive, man. Like you gotta dive. Like you can't have this this lack of coordination. Yaki Sombra was I mean, it depends on the meta, right? Like I don't know what the meta is going to be moving forward, right? I don't know what the meta is going to be moving forward, so it's kind of hard to know. Like what they needed to work on with Brawl was different than other stuff. You think Glads would have won the Oasis University if we went to a third map? Yeah, I mean, there's a really good chance because that's where you don't have to do the dive foolishness, right? We would have had another one of this, but I hope that Glads would have done better than the first round. But Sombra setups in general weren't there consistently. Sombra setups on Esperanza not good. Blizzard World not so good. The Sombra play, the goof ups on Antarctica. Yaki Sombra was tough. I think Astro didn't have an amazing game. Didn't have a bad game, but didn't have an amazing game. I think the last show Babel backline was honestly just embarrassingly bad. The coordination, but honestly, all of Glads looked pretty bad there. Like, just pretty bad as a whole. Is there any team that has impressed you with good team play? I mean, I think Mayhem as a whole has played very well team play wise, for the most part. I think they were a little bit off today at some points. I think the Outlaws generally tend to have very good team play. I think obviously Atlanta Reign has had good team play. Yeah. Mayhem need to play dive mirrors and roll the dice. Mayhem also need teams to be unprepared for them to play whatever Reaper Moira cheese, or if they come up with an alternative Brawl cheese. Like, Mayhem needs to be able to steal maps on Brawl maps, and then be able to at least compete / get lucky in dive maps. Mayhem have the chops to punch up and dive mirrors. Like, they could compete with Atlanta Reign on a good day, or if Atlanta Reign get a little bit unlucky, or if Mayhem gets a little bit lucky. So they need to survive the dive mirrors versus teams like Houston and Atlanta, who are better in the dive mirrors, and then they need to get a little bit lucky on like Brawl map stuff. Yo, thanks for the gifted sub, mate. Honestly, the difference between the Glads and the Mayhem has looked really messy at points, and I think Glads are also very inconsistent. Glads have looked inconsistent all season long. All season long, they've looked inconsistent. And Mayhem have had inconsistent moments as well. I mean, for crying out, didn't they lose to New York or something? Like, I mean, New York is a fine team, but Mayhem should not be losing to New York. Any chance Houston beats Atlanta? I would say the same thing with Houston. But the difference between Houston and Mayhem is I wouldn't say that Houston needs to roll the dice with Brawl comps. It's probably more that Houston needs to find a way to, like, make a Doom comp on New Queen Street. Like, throw off Atlanta. You know, maybe pull out the Echo on Nepal and throw Atlanta for a loop, right? Right, I would agree with that, Arcolite. So, yeah, I mean, Houston is, I would say, a better team than Mayhem, by a little bit. They're probably more competitive on the dive stuff, so you'd want to see Houston like leverage the Ana Kirikou as much as they can, and then also try to leverage the Echo. That's where their advantages are over Atlanta, I think. I wouldn't even say coming with anything unexpected. I think it just depends on the nature of the maps. Like, if you're able to force a Blizzard World, I think or like a Rialto with Ana Kirikou, you know, or like, I think Houston could do something. I think Boston's good too. There's a lot. I think I am looking forward to next weekend. I think Atlanta is obviously the favorites, but there are a lot of good teams out there right now. It's been pleasant to watch. I think I've seen good play from Boston, from Mayhem, from Outlaws, from Atlanta. I haven't watched a lot of APAC teams, but from what I have seen, the Infernal have looked solid as well, and they also pull new stuff. Yeah, you can leverage Echo versus Tracer and Sombra. It's more of a map-specific thing. I have not seen the Spark drama, no. What's the Spark drama? Dreamers upset over charge is crazy. Yeah, Dreamers look good. I love Dreamer. He's a good friend, so. They got a wrong translation of the seeding rules. We're told they would be seeded second, but I think they got, fourth. That's funny. That's a little bit unlucky. Oh. The only problem is I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a companion stream if it's a Korean time thing. Yeah, seeing Dreamers would have been really cool. Having a contenders team in that would have been super, super, super fun. But, you know, it is what it is. I hope Infernal punch up severely here. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I would be fine. That would definitely be nice. Because I like Infernal. I think they bring a lot of like unique looks, which is like super fun. I guess for me it's going to be like the execution and all that kind of stuff. I mean, let me put it this way: if a single APAC team finishes in like I would say top 3, it will be considered an upset. Top 4 would be a positive-ish result, but not crazy. Top 2 would be monstrous. Yeah. I'm not saying that it's unexpected, but I think it would be a little bit of surprise to see an APAC team finish top 3, given what we've seen. You did the whole thing? Nah, you're good, you're good. Infernal Kurnish curse to finish second or at best. Yeah, basically. APAC is just like a total. You think NA inconsistency is a problem, bro? APAC, like I don't even know, man. Like I don't even know who. It's like the circle of suck was like fulfilled in like the first 48 hours. It's like it is wild. Which is like, you know, whatever, but okay, chat. We are going to call stream. I'm going to toss a raid over to G Fest, who's doing some coaching. I will see you guys on that Thursday. We will be doing some fun stuff. This Saturday, I'm going to go ahead and announce it. All right, I'm going to announce it. I'm going to leak it. Stay tuned tomorrow because I'm going to be making an announcement about the tank coaching seminar. You guys remember the support seminar, the complete support coaching thing? It's going to be the tank variation this Saturday. So we're going to be announcing that tomorrow. If you guys are interested in some free coaching, stay tuned tomorrow. We'll be announcing it in my Discord and probably over Twitter as well. Yeah, I'm going to be tired this Saturday, mate. I'm going to be so tired. But I'm going to get through all the tanks, and we're gonna roll through it. So anyway, you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. I will see you guys in 2 days. We will be getting prepped for that and doing some variety foolishness. And I will chat with you guys later. Loves and kisses, and goodbye.